It's Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. If athleisure was a radio show, this would be that radio show. Bo Bishop, a man of fine taste and Montana class.
My wife will try and drag me to like an Easter brunch buffet, and I don't even like that because I don't like everybody standing over food I'm going to eat.
Friends with the highest intellectuals.
We found out the hard way. We have white furniture. That's all I'll say.
What a mess.
Oh, God. Holy
Literally.
An athlete, coach, husband, and father.
That drives me nuts. My kids are. I'm him. Shut up. Kidding me? You're 9. You're not him. I don't even know what the hell that means.
And two guys who are considerable downgrades from a former football player.
You were saying the Olympics wasn't interesting you yesterday. Well, can I offer you 50 seconds of interest?
50 seconds of interest is a similar pitch I make to my girlfriend on a nightly basis.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, we got to go live on a Reaction Monday. Tyvis Powell, Eric Reeser, Bo be with us momentarily. It's the liveness of this. Because our favorite baseball teams in the ALCS, we're going to try to paint this turd gold to start the program. As we do every Monday, Austin Ward will join us at 10:33. Again, with probably a little less rosy disposition on a Monday, the overreaction Monday. And I know, Tyvis, that we had talked, we talk a lot. Mm-hmm. I know you're still having trouble getting over what went down in Eugene on Saturday night, a 32-31 loss to now number 2 Oregon with an incident involving Davis Enigbenosin.
Yes.
And I'm blanking on the receiver's name.
I forget his name, too.
But the fact that as soon as I saw that, I thought it was a Trayshawn Holden.
Yeah, I think
as soon as I thought of you, and because IGB throws his arms up and just looks around and he was as surprised as all of us.
Yeah.
But I said I might know a 23 who would have thrown hands.
Yeah, this.
We're not condoning violence on this station.
One thing we don't do is we don't promote or condone violence. But there's situations where some people tend to handle things a little bit more drastically, and I am personally one of those people. It's one thing about me. A lot of people that knows me or have been listening to me for many years, I'm a fun-loving guy. I love to have fun. I see the positives in a lot of things that goes on in life, but one thing that I absolutely don't tolerate is disrespect, and that right there is one of the biggest forms of disrespect that somebody can do to somebody. And, I think that, obviously the way it was handled, that's fine. But to me personally, I don't know if I could have had the restraint that IGB showed or displayed in that said moment. I think it would have went down a little bit differently. I'm just going to say that.
I do know Ohio State fans are wishing that Saturday's game went down a little differently in the closing seconds. Because, again, when I look at this as if you score 32 points on that Oregon Ducks team, man, or you 31, I should say, you're winning that football game.
Yeah.
And the idea that you have the ball last, you're in Autzen Stadium. It's one of the best atmospheres of college football in a long time that we've seen, certainly this season. You've got the ball last, and you've got a chance.
Like I say, when you think about that last drive and how it went down, I think that once Emeka Egbuka catches that ball on the 30 to 28, wherever the heck he was, from that moment on, you're in field goal range, And I think that from that moment on, I probably would have maybe taken the conservative route, ran the ball a little bit just to get it closer. But by any means, they decided to go with passing the ball, and that's fine. The play that they run is fine. You run a hitch, you always get 5 yards, but they call offensive pass interference. And, and a lot of people, this has been going back and forth. Obviously, I play DB, so I understand. Is it offensive PI? Technically, yes. Yes, because he extends the arm. There is a push-off. Yes. However, 98% of the time that call is not getting called, especially when a corner is pressing man-to-man like that. There's going to be some contact. That's just how it is. And the fact that they called it was like, that's not one thing you do in that moment. You let it play out. And So they wasn't necessarily wrong for it. I just don't think it was the right time to call that. After that goes down, I think Dan Lanning is a genius. I do. I think what he did was genius by sending the 12 men out on the field. I think he did it intentionally because, the clock is going to run. They're not going to score on you with 12 men on the field. They shouldn't get anything because you got an extra defender on the field, and they don't get that time back. Now, I do think that it should have been a 15-yard penalty. Usually when, that's an illegal procedure, having 12 people out on the field, that should be a 15-yard penalty. Shea should have got it back. I think the refs missed that. And I just don't know if they were aware of the clock situation. I think they might have thought it went back to 10 seconds, but it stayed at 6. And I think that's why Will Howard in that moment decided to run and try to get down and try to call a timeout, because I thought he might, in his head, thought he had 10 seconds rather than 6. Because 6 seconds, you scrambling around and you chucking the thing as deep and trying to get it into the end zone. But by the way he reacted to that play, I don't know if he was aware of the clock situation.
It certainly looked like it, because when it ticks 2-1, I think houses all over the country are going, throw it!
Yeah.
Just throw it!
Because he held the ball in the pocket
he
for some
held
time. So I'm like, okay, he think he got 10 seconds.
And so you're going to be thinking about this for a while now for Ohio State, as you are on a bye this week. However, like I said to begin the program, let's try to paint some gold, right? It's still a turd. And you wish you hadn't dropped it, because defensively, Buzz, your girlfriend, woof.
Yeah.
Almost 500 yards of total offense is, again, you're scoring 31 points on Oregon. You're winning that football game, right? You're telling me going into Friday, 31 points Ohio State puts up offensively? Yep. Get it done.
I think what happened is, in this situation, the schedule kind of gave them false reality. Some people, and this was one of the concerns that people had. You're playing a bunch of cupcake teams to get you revved up and for the big game. And I think it gave our defense false confidence, because if you go back to those games, we blitzed, but not often. We were able to make a lot of things happen with a 4-man pass rush. Those defensive ends and that D-line got through there, penetrated, and got the quarterbacks to force bad throws. DBs weren't covering for that long and all of those things. But when you went up against Oregon, their offensive line, I have to give them credit on this. In the trenches, they're much better than I've ever anticipated that they would be. I know the last time we played them, they were really good in the run game, but this year I thought it was, when you watch their schedule, first game was very shaky. Second game, they got into a shootout, and it still was shaky. Now I think their offensive line is clicking on all cylinders, because we didn't get any sacks, any pressure, anything. Dylan Gabriel, to me, it looked like we were playing kind of scared to blitz Dylan Gabriel. And I think when you do that, when you don't send blitzes, now you're making your guys cover for extended amount of time. And Dylan Gabriel is a good enough athlete to extend plays with his legs. And now these guys are covering for longer than their body and their mind is used to. And I think that's why you started giving up big plays. And I was texting Bo about this during the game. When you look at our DBs, right now, our DBs they like panic when the ball is in the air, and that part bothers me a lot, because that's when you get your money. When you see that ball in there, it's like, all right, it's money time. Like, it's time to go ahead and get paid. And for us, I can tell that they panic. And when I say they panic, I'm going to explain to the listeners what I mean. When you know that you're beat, or when the ball is coming your way, because you look at that wide receiver, the wide receiver's body language tell you every time that the ball is on the way. And some people, hearts beat fast, they start grabbing, or they instantly look back at the quarterback to try to see where the ball at. And that's not how you're supposed to do these things. When that ball is in the air, if you're not in position, and when I mean in position, you have to be able to look and be able to lean on that wide receiver. If you're not in the distance to where you're in his hip pocket where you can look and locate the ball, then you have to play through the hands. And if you go back and look at some of those long passes on Denzel, he's beat and he's turning around trying to look for the ball. In that moment, you can't do that. You have to play through the wide receiver's hands. At that moment, you're trying to catch up, and I can't look back for the ball, but I can look at his hands and try to, break it up when it gets in his hands. That's how you're supposed to properly play that. And I just don't think that we're there right now. And on the other side, IGB has always been grabby. I think Jordan Hancock had either a DPI or a holding call as well. So we have to get more comfortable as a secondary when the ball is in the air. And that starts in practice. You have to have drills where you're out of phase, when you're trying to play catch up, so these guys understand, like, okay, I'm not going to be able to look back for the ball, but I can look through his hands and play through his hands.
All right, so we're going to try to paint the future a little rosy. Well, Ohio State's on a bye this week.
Yes.
So all of that needs to be drilled in, right? If you're that coaching staff, that's what you're working on this week.
Yeah.
And
and we got to figure out where we can get some more pass rush.
Well, if what you're sending isn't enough, like I heard Joshua Perry make this point to Bob and Beam, then send more.
Yes.
And send more consistently.
Yeah.
All while providing the guys in the secondary the help that they need in situations where they're just not able to go one-on-one.
Yes. I mean, or you gotta make them safeties play over the top or something like that. But I just think the adjustments just wasn't there for me. And it got frustrating to see, like, all right, you see your corners are having a bad day. What are you doing to help them out? There's multiple things you can do. You can run cover 2, you can run zone, you can run cover, like I said, cover 2, 2-man, where all their DBs is only responsible for underneath because you got safety help over the top. There was multiple things that you could have did, and I don't think we seen that, and I think that we really trusted these guys to go out there and get it done. And don't get me wrong, when you look at their track record, they've been doing it all year, so I get it. But in that moment, confidence is getting taken away. And now once the confidence is gone, now, all right, we got to figure something out. We got to make it through this game. And they might not like it, but that's what we got to do to win these football games.
That's, I think, going into this game, giving Ohio State fans a false sense of security, and that second half adjustments were tremendous.
Yeah.
For, again, going into the matchup, silver bullet caliber. Saturday in Eugene, not so much.
I jinxed it.
You didn't do anything.
I jinxed it.
Well, I would say you did not, because you only pointed out something, a parallel between 2021 and what happened this past Saturday night. I had promised some rosy coloring on this. We'll try our best to do that next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
Hockey is back. You're listening to Blue Jackets Week. Proud to be your flagship home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Get your game room game day ready with Billiards Plus. Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, and games the whole family will enjoy. Now's the time to get your name on a pool table before the holiday rush. Plus, top-of-the-line grills still in stock. Shop Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Quality, transparency, integrity, craftsmanship, and consistency. Those are the words that seem lost by many in the construction industry, but not on Newman Roofing. Because when your name is on it, it just means more. NewmanRoofing.com.
It's Rocktober, baby!
It's Rocktober at Lindsay Honda.
Save with 1.9% financing up to 60 months on every new Lindsay Honda, combined with the Lindsay Difference Package. A value of $1,295 included with every vehicle purchase. We're about going the extra mile to provide you with these unique benefits. Turn up the noise with Lindsay Honda.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference.
With approved credit on select in-stock 24-25 Honda models. Dealer contribution may affect consumer cost.
Just got a free coffee with my Earnify points.
Your what?
The points I get with the new Earnify app from BP and Amoco. I got $250 for signing up and more every time I fill up or buy anything in the C-store.
Oh, can you use points for fuel?
Of course.
And discounts and deals?
On anything.
Oh, like chips?
Mm-hmm.
Sodas?
You got it.
The actual slushy machine.
Only what's actually for sale. But you do get double the points for the first 90 days. Just go to earnifyrewards.com to download the app.
Available at participating locations only. App content is subject to change.
There's always time for the drive-thru deal. Because no matter how fast you are at making breakfast, McDonald's is faster.
Wake up to McDonald's breakfast and mix and match a classic sausage McMuffin, delicious sausage burrito, or crispy hash browns. Get any two for just $3. Order ahead in the app and pick up curbside. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Did you know we have another station? More Buckeyes, more play-by-play, more everything.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2 or listen on the Fan app.
Your home for almost too much football. The Fan.
We at Rosati Windows think the right way to do business is really pretty simple. You have to be honest. You have to have integrity. You have to care about what you do. providing a product that we can be proud of, from sales, through manufacturing, through installation, all the way down to when we peel that last piece of film off the window. We're not going to leave your home until everything is right.
Call Rosati Windows today at 777-4806.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
There's a shocking new government report about the border crisis Sherrod Brown created. According to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, almost 500,000 convicted criminals have entered our country illegally, including nearly 30,000 found guilty of murder and sexual assault, including rape in their home countries. Now they are spread out across America because of Sherrod Brown's policies. But Sherrod Brown says,
I don't hear a lot about immigration from voters.
That's because Sherrod Brown doesn't listen to voters anymore. And while our safety is being jeopardized, Sherrod Brown is making sure illegals get taxpayer-funded benefits, like health care for illegals who get amnesty, Social Security, even COVID relief checks, all paid for by you. 31 years in Washington has changed Sherrod Brown. He's not for us anymore. He's way too liberal for Ohio. American Crossroads paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AmericanCrossroads.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Cloudy and windy today. There is a 20% chance of a stray shower. Temperatures will get up to around 57. 42 for the nighttime low tonight. Tomorrow, expect isolated showers with a high of 54. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
The Fan is live and local with Morning Juice, Caffeinate, and Dominate.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie. And once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
Then this is the radio show for you. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Hey, enjoy the Fan of Bishop and Friends for an unforgettable evening on Tuesday, November 12th. High Bank Distillery in Grandview. Thrilled to invite you to the release of our exclusive fan barrel picks. We worked hard on these, man. You're going to like them. 3 very distinct, different bottles. Something for everyone, and the proceeds here benefit Brady Quinn's Third and Goal Foundation, making a difference in the lives of veterans. Enjoy exclusive barrel picks, delicious food pairings, live music, meet and greet with select athletes. And for tickets and more information, head to 971thefan.com. Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly. Let's do it live on a Reaction Monday edition of the program. In a way, that's perfect. The way my weekend was, in a way that's perfect. That isn't appropriate, the way that we started here. Look, we connect the same way every day. I don't know what the hell happened, but we're here now. And I'll just tell you this. You go back to last week, Tyvis, you and I were doing a show. Mm-hmm. And you and I were talking about a convention center in Dallas. And when you guys walked in and when they walked in, I said the national championship has already been won. Yep. They did not have the size to match up with you guys on the 2 lines of scrimmage. They did not have the dudes that you guys did. We knew as soon as you beat Alabama that you had won the de facto national championship, but that Oregon was just simply not up to speed with Ohio State. The problem here is they now are. They were up to speed in 2021 when they came in here and bullied us. They were up to speed on Saturday night. They've gotten better. And the problem is the talent now equates. And for Ohio State recently, and this is more than a trend, you're talking about the last 6 times you've played a top 5 team, you're 1-5 in those games. When talent equates, Ohio State is not up to the challenge. So why? Why is that happening? Why, when it comes down to 2 teams that are relatively equally matched or equally matched, why are we coming up on the short end of that stick? And before you try to solve a problem or fix a problem, you have to acknowledge that you have one. And that's what I'm doing today. That's what I did Saturday night after that thing went final. And the way that we fumbled that thing around on that last drive that gave you almost all the hope in the world, but you could not close it out. There is an anti-clutch meter right now within this program. Many of these games in this 1-5 stretch are winnable. The Georgia game was winnable. This Oregon game on Saturday was winnable. The Michigan game last year was winnable. You had the ball in your hand. Go win the damn game, right? And it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. C.J. Stroud's really, really good.
Yeah.
He's really, really good, but couldn't quite get there. Will Howard played damn near perfect for 58 minutes of the game. If you don't have him, I don't know what happens in that game, honestly, because you couldn't run it outside of Trey. Couldn't run it. We're not able to establish yourself in the run game the way that you thought. You needed every 320 some odd yards from him to be able to be in the game.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on, wait. Let me
go ahead.
Call time out on a couple of these things.
I'm pretty fired up.
You are.
I'm fired up. On a Monday, I'm fired up.
So when you talk about Georgia and you talk about this Oregon game, I do think that that's a series of unfortunate events. Because in that Georgia game, yes, all the things that you said, but you can't. The way those two games compare to me is that in both games, key players got knocked out of those games.
Are you going to make for us?
Yes, that's fair.
Dude, they were without their best defensive player. Oregon was. Oregon was without their best defensive player.
So what? So what?
They're without their best defensive player. We're going to worry about. Like the Marv. I mean, Marv happened, but
I don't think
you got the ball in your hands.
In this case, this Oregon game, you can't deny the fact because I think that they had him when Josh Simmons got hurt. They completely abandoned the run game because if you look at Trayvion's two big runs, they don't trust whoever was at tackle because think about it. Those two big runs that Trey hit, both was on the left side, right in the beacon. Yeah. Right where Josh Simmons and that guard would create the spread. They back-to-back plays, bam, bam, same spot. And once Josh Simmons went away, they completely stopped running the ball altogether. And they had another injury at right guard, Tegra Shabola. He went down, but I think he came back, but then I think he went out again. So I think your offensive line definitely got beat up, and that's why I think they stopped running the ball. So you go back to the thing that you always depend on, the thing that if the run game or if anything isn't going right, you know that you have a good quarterback and you have great wide receivers. So put the ball in their hands. And
that's what I said. He went 28 of 35 for 326.
And I will argue that
what more do you want? I mean, that's delivering.
I will argue that they have had one clutch moment. Notre Dame last year was a clutch moment, and that was a top matchup.
Okay, so from your vantage point,
I just want to. I'm gonna have full.
I just want this on the record. So from your vantage point, as a man who wore that jersey and had a helmet full of Buckeye leaves, for you, one win out of 6 against top 5 in the last 3 years is satisfactory?
No.
Okay,
no.
You got to win your fair share of them. I'm not saying you got to win all of them. You're not going to win all of them because guess what? Oregon is good.
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel is a dude. He was spinning it all over the place. We're going to get into the plan and some of the things that happened defensively in a moment because obviously there was a lot to unpack on that side of things. There's a lot to pack on all sides of it. But there is an anti-clutch meter that we currently are binging the top of and hitting 10 over and over again. When it comes to big moments with light competition, we aren't getting it done.
Yeah.
They aren't. And I don't know how you fix something like that. I want to go back to Friday's show. All right. You were in California en route. Reese and I did 3 things. These are my 3 things I wrote down in order for Ohio State to win. Number 1. This was my number 1 thing of 3 things on Friday. Buckeye secondary making plays, but also playing clean. Did not happen. Number 2, 225 yards combined on the ground. We ended up with 141, 4.3 a tote. And one of them was a 53-yarder from Trey. So if you take away that big shot play, it's even harder than that to establish the run, which I thought that they would be.
I did,
I thought they would bludgeon them. I thought they'd be physical, punch them in the mouth, and get downfield.
The way they number 3, I was like, that's the game plan. This is old school Ohio State. We're going to just run the ball and physically take them out of it.
Here's number 3. This is why you got Will Howard. The better transfer wins the game. Now, both transfers were great.
Mm-hmm.
They were both great. Dylan Gabriel was sensational. He's better than I thought he was. He could spin it, and they make you defend every blade of grass. We don't as much. We're mostly to the edges. We're mostly to the sidelines. We're mostly horizontal to get vertical. Gabriel did have some shots in the middle of the field, and he wasn't afraid to spin it. So give him full marks. And also recognize that their wide receiver core is maybe the most talented, or certainly in a conversation along with ours and Texas. Those are the three most talented receiver cores in the country. Evan Stewart was a top 3 consensus receiver in the country coming out of high school. 5-star kid, went to A&M. They got dudes, okay? They have absolute dudes. Give them their full marks on being dudes. By the way, this was an awesome college football game.
Yeah, I got it.
It was an awesome college football game. Guys, this is everything that the television executives dreamed of when they got conference expansion. It was a game like this on a Saturday night, and Joshua Perry up there at halftime with his smiling face, breaking it all down. Yeah. It made me so happy. The game had everything that you wanted as a Buckeye fan except for the finish.
You know what? The worst part about all of this is that as soon as that clock hit 000, I received a text message, Bo. I did, and I knew.
I bet you did.
I knew it was coming. This is what happens when you're a proud alumni. You might get. I might talk a little bit too much. I might hype them up a little bit too much. Yeah. So at exactly whatever time it was when the clock hit 000, I received a text message from none other than Richard Kevin Sherman. Saying,
he went to Stanford.
I know, but he is all, y'all talk down on the Pac-12 like we wasn't all this.
The Pac-12 doesn't exist.
He tells me, I told you it was hard to win out there. And I'm like, oh, my God. So now I got to hear that forever. So this is, they really put a damper on my Saturday night.
Did we not say that Oregon would be a tough place to win at?
We did.
Richard Sherman texted you, water is wet.
I wasn't hearing it, though. I wasn't hearing it.
The one thing I'll say, just from a big picture front, I think that, and this is why I led this segment with this, Oregon is not what they were 10 years ago.
Yes, that's a fact.
They're not. Yeah. It started with Mario Cristobal. It continues now with Dan Lanning, who gets his signature win. He has his signature win now. He was looking for one. We talked about it last week. What's his signature win? Well, by God, he's got his signature win. That happened. They are not what they used to be. At the start of this season, there were 4 teams that were more talented than all the rest, according to everybody. So Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and Georgia. 2 of those 4 teams have losses. By the time we talk next Monday, all 4 of those teams will have played each other because Texas is playing Georgia this weekend. The good news is everything you want to accomplish is still in front of you. Mm-hmm. The bad news is you've got some stuff going on between the ears that is inhibiting you from closing out in clutch moments when talent equates. We got to get that fixed. You're going to hear from Coach Day coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change wants to help ease your oil change anxiety with a few moments of automotive peace.
Gambling too much? I'm Abdullah Mahmood, problem gambling counselor at Mary Heben, where we offer in-person, virtual, and group options. We're here for you no matter what, and that's a bet you can actually count on this football season. Go to maryheben.com today.
At Byers Auto, we've been football fans since 1897, back when tailgates had actual tails. Our legacy of supporting our local team is as strong as our commitment to providing exceptional vehicles. While we're known for our new cars, we also offer a variety of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. Our friendly staff is here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget. Visit us in person or shop online at byersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Create a safe sleep environment for your baby by using the ABCs of safe sleep. Babies are safest alone on their backs in an empty crib. Always place your baby on his or her back while sleeping, and be sure to use a firm sleep surface. Remember, room sharing without bed sharing is safest. For more information, visit childrenandyouth.ohio.gov/infant safe sleep.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com. Ends 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Join Skip Mossick, Paul Keels, and Jim Lachey for 2 whole hours of scarlet and gray goodness.
Thank you, football guy.
Buckeye Roundtable, Monday night at 6.
Presented by Burger King.
Your flagship home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan.
In his campaign ads, Sherrod Brown thinks everything's pretty funny. But it's not when you look at his voting record. Brown voted to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports. Unfair and dangerous. Brown introduced a bill letting transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms. That's just not right. And Brown supported allowing puberty blockers and sex change surgery for children. Migrants are flooding into Ohio, but Brown voted for government handouts to illegal immigrants and voted 10 times to protect sanctuary cities that release dangerous illegal immigrant criminals onto Ohio's streets. Sorry, Sherrod, your seriously bad votes are no joke. And Ohio doesn't think it's funny. Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply.
Can't be home for the game?
Caught for the touchdown!
NFL Plus has you covered with live, local, and primetime games on the go.
What a game he's had.
On your mobile device, you can access live, local Sunday afternoon games and all the primetime action from Thursday night football, Sunday night football, and Monday night football.
Tonight was definitely their night.
Sign up for NFL Plus today at plus.nfl.com. Subscription required for NFL Plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, home of the best blended whiskey in America. Grab a bottle or dine in at their 2 restaurant locations in Grandview and Gahanna. Drink local, drink High Bank.
All right, here's what's up on a Reaction Monday edition of the program. Look, all right, I got that off my chest. Here's your, you want glasses half full? Here's your glasses half full.
Be like Tyvis.
You drop to 4. You drop to 4. That's it. You have a 12-team playoff. You're going to play them again.
Yeah.
They are the best team in the Big Ten. Right now, they beat us. You're the second best team in the Big Ten. I don't know if you watch Penn State on Saturday, but you're going to be just fine, I think, in Happy Valley. These two teams are going to be a little bit different than everybody else. Now, the question is, can you learn from what happened in Eugene? Can you be clutch down the stretch? When talent equates, can you win? When the pressure is at its biggest, can you rise above that? That'll be something. And the crazy thing is, because of the way that the schedule sets out, you're not going to have another game where talent sort of equates until Penn State. Mm-hmm. You're not. And then you're going to have the Michigan game, and then you'll have Oregon again potentially in a Big Ten championship game. Certainly seems like that's the way it's going to shake out. Now, the other side of this is, should this have come down to one play? Ryan Day was asked that very question post-game Saturday night. Here's what he had to say.
I don't know. We got to get on. Yeah, well, I mean, it shouldn't come down to one play, and that's the whole thing, is leaving no doubt. And it did. It came down to one play, so we could point to a lot of things here, different calls, things that came up. But, it shouldn't have come down to one play. That's the bottom line. And it did, and it cost us the game.
You know what I think? I think that's a little bit disingenuous towards Oregon. Because on the very first drive, look, I know where we continue to do the show. On the very first drive, that's an interception.
No, it's a fact. 1,000% interception.
It is not a catch.
No. No, it was a
It's
pick.
either an interception or an incomplete pass.
No, it was a pick.
But sure as hell ain't a catch.
Yeah.
Okay? So they had that. They missed a field goal. They got a 4th and out inside the 5. So all of those things happened. They were down a receiver who spit in one of our men's face.
Oh, my gosh.
For God's sakes.
Stop bringing it up. It gets me upset every time.
He spit in our face.
Oh, no.
Tyvis. He spit in the face. So that happened. They're without their defensive end, who's their best defensive player. So there were things that Ohio State wasn't able to finish, for sure. Oregon's got the same amount of gripes. They've got the same amount of gripes.
Mm-hmm.
And they can say, it shouldn't have come down to that. We should have blown them out. They could make the exact same argument. So I don't want to hear about it shouldn't have come down to one play, because Oregon can say the same thing. It did come down to one play. Those are two teams that are very similar from a talent standpoint, honestly, like mirrors of each other when it comes to talent. It's not that much different. Now, when it comes down to plan, when it comes down to execution, that's where you can quibble with it. So I'm going to put this to you both. You get the ball down to the 23 with about 20 seconds to go and a timeout. Before you have, let's do this first. On the Jeremiah Smith pass interference, I don't recall ever seeing that call made at that time of a game.
I said the same thing earlier.
You're a defensive back.
I said that 98% of the time, what happens literally all the time, and it doesn't get called because you're pressed. And once you're pressed, obviously there's going to be some contact. And in that contact, the receiver can get a little physical. You know, it's Brandon Marshall. It's a lot of receivers that made a living. Julio Jones, they made a living. Larry Fitzgerald, they made a living of making. They wanted you to do that contact so they can be physical, throw you to the side to be able to run their route, and it looks clean. And that very moment, like I said, is it a penalty? Yes. By rule, yes. 99.8% of the time, it's not getting called.
Especially in that situation where you have less than 60 ticks left on the clock.
And it was so punitive.
Yeah.
You went from the ball at the 19 because you don't get the penalty from where you caught it. It goes back to the line of scrimmage. So now you're at the 43-yard line, and you lose the time on the clock. Okay? Will's getting a lot of hell for what happened after that, how it took us 6 seconds to snap the ball. It looked to me like he was clapping like a maniac trying to get the ball snapped, and we had guys, offensive linemen, everybody looking around. Like, I don't know if everybody on our team understood that once the ball's spotted, the clock ticks. No, but he was clapping like a maniac. He was clapping like a maniac. Okay? So you have that happens. All right. Then Dan Lanning ran a 12th guy out.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Oh, that was absolutely intentional.
He's a genius.
We're losing our mind going, they got 12 on the field. Dan Lanning's going, exactly right, I got 12 on the field. Because guess what? You're not getting back the 6 seconds that it took for that play to be run. So now, instead of 11 seconds and a timeout, you have 6. All right? Now, the last one is on Will. He's going to have to live with that one.
Yeah, I don't think he knew. I don't think he knew that they wasn't getting 10 seconds back.
You thought when he snapped the ball, thought he had 10?
Yeah.
Well, then that's on him even more.
But think about it, Bo. Go back.
I agree with you, but like you got to just look up and see the clock.
The way he did that play, he took the snap, seen nothing was there, scrambled around, then decided to take off. If you got 6 seconds and you know that you got 6 seconds, I'm coming in, I'm throwing a quick slant or something like that, trying to get the guy down, call the timeout, kick the field goal. Or I'm chucking it to the end zone. Well, that's the only two options on that play. And by the way that it was operated, there's no way that either one of those thoughts was in his mind.
Well, then that's on him too.
Well,
right? If he doesn't understand there's 6 seconds and not 10 or 11 or 12, then that's on him too. So he was available with Clay post-game right here on The Fan and was asked about the final play and all of it. Let's have a listen.
Well, what was the last play call there?
It was a flood call into the boundary, and we were trying to get it out of bounds real quick, and they covered the boundary, and I was trying to get upfield and see the clock and knew we needed, I think it was 15 yards we said we wanted to get. kick the field goal, but I gotta get down, I guess, and give us a shot.
We know Coach called a timeout. Could you see that? Did you think there was a second left?
I thought there was a second left on the clock when I slid, but obviously I gotta slide a little earlier.
I was convinced the team with the ball last would win the game. What prevented that, you think?
I don't know.
Coach Day talks about the final yard, the final play to seal the deal. How do you get there?
Yep, one play can always be the difference in these matchup games, and it came down to that, and we got to get on the film and fix it and move on and learn, because we still have a hell of a football team and a hell of a season left to go, and this is just one bump in the road, and I think it's going to make us stronger.
Yeah, every goal you want is there.
Yep, absolutely. Everything's still on the table. I think we have a really good shot of seeing these guys again in Indy, and I'm excited.
Okay, that's Big B broadcasting out of Clay Hall.
They're interesting.
So tip your hat to him in terms of that's what a post-game interview with the star quarterback is supposed to sound like. So that's a big-time job out of Clay. A couple of things I want to run by you.
Go ahead.
6 seconds. Flood to the boundary, get out of bounds.
I don't like
You have a timeout. Why?
That's what I want to know too. When he said that was the first thing. Like, you got a timeout. You don't
have to do that.
Defenders know that you're trying to get out of bounds.
Why? You have a timeout.
As a former DB, you think I don't know that you got that? The situation?
The whole time I'm going, you can throw it anywhere. You got the timeout.
That's the
throw
point.
It anywhere.
That's the scary situation for a DB.
So I don't understand that. Flood to boundary, get out of bounds at the timeout. I don't understand.
Don't agree with it either.
Okay. All right. Now, did you pick up something else he said there? He said we needed 15 yards.
Oh, yeah. I heard that part too.
What is 15 yards? That's the same penalty for offensive pass interference.
So run the ball.
So if you had to get to the 28-yard line to feel good, guess what, brother? You were already there.
Run the ball.
You were already there. You were already at the 28-yard line. Now, we can complain about the call on Jeremiah. I thought it was Bush League at that time of game to call that.
I agree.
Let players make plays in games. To call that, which is a totally subjective call that happens on every single play, every time there's press, awful. But none of it needed to happen.
Bo, he got 5 yards on that route?
He got 9. He went down to the 19.
Run the ball 2 times. Call timeout, kick the field.
Could have ran 2 balls. Yeah, for sure. On all of that, everything we're doing, all the second guessing happens because this type of thing has happened quite a bit recently when it comes down to a play here or there. So how do you fix it? We'll get into that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Get your game room game day ready with Billiards Plus. Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, and games the whole family will enjoy. Now's the time to get your name on a pool table before the holiday rush. Plus, top-of-the-line grills still in stock. Shop Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
James Laurinaitis for Custom Air. Custom Air is devoted to quality, customer service, and trust. They are always there when you need them, and they deliver on what they promise. That's how they do things. It's the Custom Air way. Custom Air, custom solutions, custom comfort. CustomAirColumbus.com.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. And when it comes to fall, we often think of those cooler temperatures, the trees changing colors, the bonfires in the evening, and of course, football season. We less often think of those home projects that we've been neglecting or failed to finish up before those harsh Ohio winter hits. If you need to have your roof inspected or it's on your to-do list, you can ensure that Newman Roofing will get you ready for those harsh winter storms. The team over at Newman has you covered, and they're family-owned and locally operated right here in Central Ohio since 1992. The 3 generations that have been in the roofing industry, they have the expertise to handle any issue you may be facing with your roof. Folks, they took care of my roof. They did a fantastic job. They're the experts, and they will give you the white glove treatment because when your name is on it, it just means more. So if you need your roof repaired, repair or replace this fall, call the company you can trust. That's Newman Roofing at newmanroofing.com or 614-NEW-ROOF.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Great game. You got into the end zone again and again. How'd it feel?
Awesome. Like getting a new iPhone again and again. I just got the new iPhone 16 Pro today.
Really?
Yeah. And with AT&T Next Up Anytime, I can upgrade early every year.
Very nice.
Feel like an MVP again. Learn how to get the new iPhone 16 Pro on us and the latest iPhone every year with AT&T Next Up Anytime. AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Offer subject to change. Additional fees, terms, and restrictions apply. $0 offer may not be available on future iPhones. Next Up Anytime feature may be discontinued at any time. See att.com/iPhone for details.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
In 2021, LSU finished with a disappointing 6-7 record. Luckily for them, a new head coach in Chip Kelly and a quarterback from Arizona State, Jaden Daniels, arrived in Baton Rouge. They lead LSU to the 2022 SEC Championship game and defeated Purdue in the Citrus Bowl to finish 10-4. Kelly and Daniels made that 2021 season like it never even happened.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
If you say something with enough confidence, it must be true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, look, we've talked quite a bit about the last drive. We've talked about an inability to make the plays that matter when talent equates. There is one other thing that is problematic, right? And that comes on the side of the ball where you made your hay. This is when talent equates, this defense is pretty Civ-like. 496 yards of total offense Oregon had in this game. They averaged 5 yards a clip on the ground, 31 for 155. They ran it right at us. The bus in the secondary, I have a lot of questions for you on what you saw in terms of what they're being asked. Obviously, a very rough night for Denzel Burke, who is a guy who most people thought was a borderline second-round pick at corner. Did not look like it on Saturday, but this is from a layman's view. I don't have the intellect you do on the defensive side of the ball, my friend, so I'm going to lean on you on this. And then the other thing that I'm going to say is we have recruited on the defensive front a lot of game wreckers, but it don't look like it.
Yeah.
So in terms of what's happening defensively, and I will give some credit to the adjustments that were made, obviously, in the second half of the game, in that you had given up 22 in the first half, just 10 in the second, to a very, very good team. And full marks to Oregon. Atmosphere, A+. Coaching, A+. Quarterback play, A+. Receiver play, A+. Like, they're good. I'm taking nothing away from them. They are a very, very good football team. But at the same time, when you needed to make a stop and you needed to do it more consistently, you didn't. And so what are you seeing in the secondary? What are you seeing in these big games that prevents Ohio State from being silver bullet quality on the defensive side?
The reason that I was really upset about the secondary play is because last year, that was their thing. That was their mantra. We're not going to give up the explosive plays. And these guys did a really good job of staying on top of the route. And I think in this game, they challenged them more. Now, like I was telling you in one of the breaks, I said the first Denzel bomb, the first Evan Stewart bomb, I understood why Denzel played it the way he played it. It looked like they were either in some cover 3 or some man type of concept. And if you go back and watch that formation, if I remember correctly, they were in like a bunch. And typically out of the bunch, the point guy is the guy that runs the deep route. Evan was not the guy that was the bunch. He was on the outside. So as a DB, I'm thinking to myself, okay, if he's on the outside and he's off the ball, the vertical is gone. He's probably not going to run no fade or anything like that. So my technique becomes more of a scooch technique to where I'm going to catch it. I'm a scooch back. He probably going to run a spray out or a bang aid out of this or something like that. So
So when you say bang out to our audience, what does that mean?
A spray out is when they run 5 steps and then they just flatten it right out to the sideline.
Yeah.
A bang aid is on their 5th step on their outside foot. They plant it in the ground and they run a post like right across your face.
Yep.
So in those 2 scenarios, that's usually what comes off of any stacks or any bunches or something like that. That's usually what you get out of those. And I got to give them credit. They ran something that wasn't expected. And Denzel even collisioned the guy, which is what you're taught to do. If he's going to run vertical, make him run the vertical through you so you'll have a chance to catch up. Well, we found out that the speed is a real thing there. But what I didn't like the most out of all of it is he was fine. He was fine. Where he messed up is as soon as he collisioned him and Stewart got the step, he immediately turned his head around and looked back at the quarterback. And you cannot do that. You can't. There's
no time.
Yeah, when you watch Usain Bolt run, you don't never see him run the 100 and turn around and look back while he's running, unless he's at the end. Of course, he does it at the end. But at the beginning of it, he's not doing that. You can't run full speed looking back. And that's the thing that makes all corners, they panic. And I told you, I texted you, I said, we're panicking when the ball is in the air. Get to the receiver, you're beat. So you can't look back because you got to get in phase. You got to get back in phase. Get back in phase and play through the hands. There's so many ways. You can rake a hand down, make him one hand catch it. You could come up through the bread basket to pop the ball up. There's so many different ways you can do it. And I think that was the big thing with Denzel. Every time he got beat, the first thing he did was turn his head around and see, yes, I'm going to let you know, yes, the ball is coming your way.
It's coming, baby.
Every time you get beat, the ball is coming your way. And it was just unfortunate that he kept doing that. And what I didn't like is they didn't do anything to help. Like, it wasn't, he's giving this up. He's struggling tonight. All right, we can run cover 2. We can run 2 man. We can put a safety over the top.
Where's 2 and 8?
At this point, there's not 3 guys you're worried about. Now it's 2. It's 2 guys that you're worried about. So now if you run 2 man and say, hey, Denzel, don't worry about anything deep. We got safety help over the top. I need you to undercut all routes and play that. That relieves a lot of stress of a corner. And we never got there. And then as far as the pass rush goes, listen, you've been getting home all these first 4 or 5 games with just rushing 4 because you've been going up against lesser opponents. So in your mind, as a DB, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's like me with Joey. Joey's out there. I know I only got to cover for like 3 or 4 seconds. Joey's getting home. Don't worry.
Yes.
Joey's getting there. If Joey's not there, I got to adjust my game plan. And what happened is we were so used to these guys getting home that we didn't rethink, all right, we got to cover for a little bit longer. I got to be more in phase. I can't afford to look back. Maybe I need to play off. Like, those are things that you got to have a conversation with to be more successful if the pass rush isn't happening. And on top of that, we weren't blitzing.
Here are some scoring drives from Oregon. 2 plays, 28. 4 plays, 75. These are touchdown drives. 2 plays, 28. 4 plays, 75. They had one where he made him have the ball for 2.5 minutes, 7 plays, 75. But I went to state school. That still works out to over 10 yards of play. Those are their drives. Think about that. 7 for 75 and 236, 4 for 75 and 151, 2 for 28, touchdown. They are 3 touchdown scoring drives. The longest of them took 236. That's first half. Go to the second half. 5 plays, 60 and 1:51 for another touchdown.
These some quick hitters.
You're giving up bombs.
Yeah, we getting
You're getting gashed.
Which is crazy. Last year, that's exactly what we were the opposite. We never gave up those type of plays. And now all of a sudden we are again. Like, I don't understand it. Like 1 year, the first year of Jen knows it was, we're going to be aggressive and we don't care if we give up explosives because we're going to make more plays than we give up.
Sure.
The next year, you completely 180 that. We ain't giving up nothing explosive, but we're not going to really blitz or anything like that. This year, it's like you went back to the first year, but you're not making up on it by making any plays.
There's one other thing that I want to get into about this, and that is, were you prepared for a game like this? Furthermore, in a 12-team playoff, when everybody told us that the regular season won't matter and that the games won't be as great, they're pretty damn great. We'll get to all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Common Man and T-Bone are idiots. You should listen to them anyway.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan, Ohio's idiot destination.
Men, you already know that as we age, low testosterone can cause many issues, including decreased energy, bad sleep, a lower sex drive, and more. And if you're like most men, getting treated for low T can truly change your life. But it's also important where you get treated, because your health matters, and a quality medical practice that has true expertise in men's sexual health can help you get the best outcome. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, the leader in treating low T and other men's sexual health issues in the area. And if you're feeling like I just described and haven't yet sought treatment, or if you're not satisfied with the treatment you're currently receiving, I'd invite you to call us. At Tri-State Men's Health, our expertise is men's sexual health. It's all we do. We've successfully treated thousands of men for low T, and we offer a true 5-star experience that is like no other. If you're like most men, you'll be astounded at our service and at the results of our treatments. So make an appointment today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Break gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply.
Bobcat Enterprises is your family-owned partner for landscaping and construction projects. Bobcat Enterprises sells and services a full line of Bobcat equipment, including compact track loaders, excavators, tractors, and more. Plus, Bobcat rents compact equipment and attachments. With Bobcat, you can rent the machine and own the results. Keep your business local. Stop by Bobcat Enterprises in Hilliard, Reynoldsburg, or Zanesville, and find current specials and our full line of products by visiting bobcatent.com today.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code Columbus now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code Columbus. Trust and Will is an online service providing legal forms and information. It is not a law firm and is not a substitute for the advice of an attorney.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Save more with digital coupons. California red, white, or black seedless grapes are just 99 cents a pound with your card and digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's football season, and Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for all the action on the gridiron. With a game-changing rewards program, plus an amazing selection of tickets, Vivid Seats ensures that every fan can catch their favorite teams and players in action. Vivid Seats has you covered with deals that cater to every football enthusiast. And all tickets come back by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like North America's #1 home fire safety brand, Kidda. Because on a day full of football sounds you love, like fight songs, roaring crowds, and your favorite commentators...
like me, Kirk Herbstreit.
The last sound you want to hear is... Defend your game time with Kidda and the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Based on total household installations as of December 2023.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Ohio State's on a bye this week. Time to get right for the fourth-ranked Buckeyes following their 32-31 loss to number 2 Oregon over the weekend. OSU's back at the Shoe next Saturday hosting Nebraska. Hear from head coach Ryan Day tonight on Buckeye Roundtable. He'll join Skip Mossick, Paul Keels, and Jim Lachey Monday night around 7 p.m. Following the roundtable, you can hear Monday Night Football on the Fan. The Jets host the Bills at 8:15. On the field last night, the Bengals beat the Giants 17-7. Cincinnati's 2-4 and will play the 1-5 Browns in Cleveland Sunday at 1 p.m. In baseball Monday, the Guardians are at the Yankees in Game 1 of the American League Championship Series. First pitch is 7:38. Alex Cobb will go for the Guardians opposite Carlos Rodon for New York. This afternoon, the Dodgers host the Mets in Game 2 of the NLDS with a 1-0 lead in their series. This update is sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give Dr. Mark Levy a call at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
The only thing better than watching football is talking about it. So we invented Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour here on a Reaction Monday. Bo, Reese, and Tyvis with you. It's a tough one. It's tough. It's not a season ender by any means. It's not a dream ender by any means. I think it's more likely than not that you'll see that Oregon team in Indianapolis in a month and a half. That feels like the way that this thing is going to go. The reality, though, is that this loss is painful because it is a trend now of when talent equates not coming through in the clutch. And the damnedest thing about all of that, fellas, is until you actually do it, you're going to have to answer that question. Yeah. And that's something that's going to hang over this program. And then as you're in these spots, you're going to have to deal with it. And it's not about toughness. It's not about this or that. It's about, can you make a play when you need to? You and I were texting on Saturday night, Tyvis. Mm-hmm. Did this non-conference prepare this football team for that type of game? Because Oregon, which you'd look at Idaho and you'd say, well, that ain't much, but that was a 4-quarter game for them. It was. By the way, Idaho got housed by Montana State on Saturday night. So does that mean Montana State, Ohio State's a good matchup? I don't know. My hunch is no. Boise State was 37-34. And Boise State can go. Genty was 192 and 3 scores in that game, by the way. Yeah. Then they played Oregon State. Then they played UCLA. Then they played Michigan State. We had that wonky first month. Nothing to really be stressed of. Were they more ready for being in the fire than we were?
Yeah, I told you it was something that come. Well, not you. I didn't tell you, but I was speaking to other people saying that when you look at Oregon, I actually said it on the Big Ten. That's where I said it. I was like, actually, I like the fact that they're playing in these close games because they know how to win them. They were still trying to figure out their chemistry at the time. But one thing was for sure is that we are not going to lose this game. We'll figure it out, but we're not going to lose this game. And I thought that held a ton of weight to where Ohio State was blowing guys out and they was sitting out in the fourth quarter. And obviously, when you play better competition, those games are going to be closer. The decision making is different. The coaching is different. The players play differently when the games is close, when it means more. And Ohio State hadn't had that real test, and Oregon had. And in that situation, they knew how to handle this moment. To where Ohio State, it was foreign to them.
So in the last drive, the one that ends up being a field goal drive for Oregon, it was the one that put them ahead. It's 11 plays. Remember, I went through in the last segment, I went through all the quick hitters, okay? But in the last series, the one that they get the field goal to go up 32-31, and then you got the ball back with one timeout. I cannot believe we got the ball back with a timeout. I mean, it's unbelievable that we still had a timeout in hand. I mean, it gave you such an advantage. Oregon, this is the play sequence on that drive. They just went right down the field. It started at the 25-yard line. 5 yards on first down, 2nd and 5. 5 yards on second, first down. First down again, up for 2 yards, and it's 2nd and 8. Then they get 3rd and 6. At the 39-yard line, they complete a pass for 8 with about 4 minutes on the clock. Then it's 1st and 10 around midfield. That's the big hitter. That's the Terrence Ferguson pass for 26 yards, and all of a sudden now you know you're cooked. And what I'm worried about at that point is, are you even going to get the ball back?
Yeah.
Are they even going to get the ball back? So they go pass complete to Tez Johnson for 2. Then it's 2nd and 8 at the 24. Pass incomplete to Evan Stewart, but a penalty for pass interference. All of a sudden, 1st and goal at the 9. They pick up 4 yards on the first play. Timeout. They get to 3rd and goal. There's another penalty on us. And then finally they kick the field goal, 4th and goal at the 1. If you were them, would you have kicked the field goal or would you try to get the touchdown?
Oh, 4th and goal at the 1?
At 4th and goal at the 1.
I tell you what, they had the momentum. How many plays at that moment? How many plays?
So that drive, it ends up being, it's 11 plays, 74 yards.
That's a lot of plays. That defense is worn down. I probably would have went for it because you know why? In that second half, actually, Jordan James really started to find himself. So I think I kind of would have. That right there means that's disrespect. Like I'm telling you right now, we're better than them. We're more physical than them. We're going to get in. Like if they did that, that's what that told me.
So it's funny. I looked over at the boys and I said, if you were playing defense right now, what would you want them to do? Kick the field goal or go for it on 4th and 1? And their only point of reference is the video game.
Yeah.
That's it. So they go kick the field goal. And I said, yeah, me too. If I'm playing defense in Scarlet and Gray, I'm going, kick the field goal so we can get the ball back with about a minute.
Yes.
And you had the opportunity. You could argue they botched that a little bit. They end up winning, so how can you botch anything when you win? But, boy, you got it at the 1-yard line. It's an 11-play drive, 74. You allow for Ohio State an opportunity with a timeout to kick a field goal to win it.
It would have been if they would have ran, if they would have went for it on 4th and 1, it would have been very interesting to see what program strength training, which off season, all of those things would have shown up in that moment. Who wanted it more would have been that moment right there. But I just saw right now the way that game was being played. I don't know. They had the momentum, so I'm not going to say we wouldn't have stopped them. I tell you what. It is hard to stop a team on the 1-yard line. That is a fact.
Yeah.
Twice in the same half would have been impossible, you'd think.
Yeah. All right, I want to run this by you. Reese, I'm going to start with you on this. This is from Matt. Reality of the 12-team playoff. My buddies and I were watching the game Saturday night. When we lost, I said, that's a shame. Instead of throwing empties across the place because our season is on life support. That's true.
Then you Pepe Silva and you take red, you got your red string and you have your corkboard behind you and you're trying to map out Ohio State's route to Indianapolis. And it's pretty clear. You've got Indiana, you've got Penn State. Oregon does not, I believe, have either of those teams. They're the only ones with 0 losses up to this point. You beat those 2 teams, you're the 2nd seed in the Big Ten. Oregon probably wins out. It's the rematch, and you get a chance to right the wrong.
Here's Oregon's stretch. They're at Purdue, then Illinois at home, then at Michigan. My God, think of the travel for that. West Lafayette, back home for Illinois, then back to Ann Arbor. Then they've got Maryland at home. They're at Wisconsin. Fixed guys have won a couple in a row now. They beat Rutgers over the weekend, and then they close with Washington. So I'm with you. Even if they lose 1, they ain't losing 2. Yeah. They may get upset somewhere. It happens. But they're not losing 2 games. So you're going to see them again. I'm going to tell you what, though. One thing that I think was, and maybe it played into it, the last 2 weekends in college football have been nothing short of sensational. I'm up until midnight watching LSU throw a touchdown to tie the game against Ole Miss and then win it in overtime in a game that was kind of an elimination game, I would think, for Ole Miss. Like they're going to lose to Georgia. You can't have 3 losses, and especially when they're those losses. We had the chaos that we had last week. This week it's going to be nuts. You got Texas, Georgia, and all the other games this week while we sit it out. I don't think the 12-team playoff has hurt the week-to-week at all. And I think the ratings that you're going to see on this are going to be through the roof. This went head-to-head. You think about college football going head-to-head with the baseball on Saturday, and thankfully they moved the Guardians game up to 108, so you were able to, if you're someone like Reese who's interested in both, you can watch both, and the Guardians were thrilling, and they're in the ALCS, and we'll get to that in the final hour of the program, which is really exciting. But I saw no drop-off from a 4-team playoff to a 12. Quite honestly, even if you had lost to Oregon in a 4-team playoff, you'd be fine. You'd still have a chance to do everything. Yeah, you're still going to play a Penn State team that's going to be ranked in the top 5 in the country unless Drew Aller throws 6 more picks. You're still got a chance. You got to beat the rivalry game. You got to do that. You got to handle your business in that game. But it's all in front of you.
I mean,
nothing really changed.
I mean, the only thing that changes is it gives more opportunity, and there will be a 2-loss team probably that will get in at some point. That
could be a 3.
Yeah,
quite honestly. If you're talking about a conference champion, right?
I thought about that. I thought about the fact that SEC was making the argument for a 3-loss SEC team is like, I think a 3-loss Big Ten team. The way they playing, the way these guys are battling out there, it's some good ball being played in both conferences. I think definitely at some point a 3-loss team will get in, especially if they get hot at the right time.
I promised listeners we would try to paint this turd gold, and what you get to do on a bye week is take a look at the film and correct, or do what you can at best to correct when you host Nebraska next Saturday. I would schedule that 10:26 game, maybe noon for your, if put it on your calendars for a nooner against Nebraska. But there's time. Right? There's time to do this, and this might be a wake-up call because through the first 5 games of the season, you could have just out-talented them. Now, they did out-talent them, but they also out-schemed them and made second-half adjustments that did not show up in Eugene Saturday. Maybe you can put it all together for that last stretch of the season when you need it.
You're going to – look, there are 4 teams. I said this in the first hour. Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon. From a check every box perspective, those 4 check every box. 2 of them are in the Big Ten, 2 of them are in the SEC. I am not sold on Tennessee. Stop it. Get the hell out of here. I am not sold on Alabama. That game looked more comfortable than it was. And by the way, somehow South Carolina still has the ball at the end. So I'm not sold on them. Yeah. Penn State, man. James Franklin, buddy, what are we doing? What are we doing making it come down to the way that it did in the USC game?
They had a tight end with over 200 yards. Tight end. Tyler Warren?
Yeah.
That's a dude.
He is a dude.
I tell you what, the biggest thing for me is when you just listed those 4 teams, outside of the Ohio State, 3 of them. The only thing that bothers me now, or that's concerning to me, and it's a shame that I'm about to say this.
Go ahead.
Is can our secondary hang with their receivers?
I tweeted it on.
That's the only. You say Texas, Georgia, Oregon. Well, they got some dudes at all 3 of them have a dude or dudes over there. And can we handle it? Can we get a pass rush? That's the only question I have for it.
Number 2 of my 3 things post game on Saturday night. The Buckeye secondary needs an intervention. 2 grabby, 2 unsure. That's a top 3 receiving core in the country, and they looked it. But, man, to accomplish their goals, that has to be fixed. The good news is you're not going to play another team like Oregon. The good news is you don't have Texas on the schedule. The bad news is to accomplish your goals, you're probably going to have to beat them both. And if you think Oregon can spin it, wait till you see Texas.
Yeah.
Because they can spin it. So that back end, and it all marries. The front's got to create more havoc.
Yeah, they do.
They feed each other.
Oh, we've been talking about that since they were freshmen.
I know.
We've been waiting on
Clock's
JTT
ticking.
and Jack Sawyer since they were freshmen to be
Clock's
game wreckers, and they've given us glimpse. JTT had the fabulous Penn State game, one of the best defensive performances I've ever seen, but it's not consistent.
No. You're not seeing the havoc wreaked the way that it needs to be wreaked to beat teams like this. 3 up and 3 down in college football coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, it's Anthony. Do more with your money at Tel-Ohio Credit Union. If you know Tel-Ohio Choice Checking, you know all the perks that come with your account. Cash in your benefits by setting up an account today. Find out more at telohio.org.
Certain restrictions apply. Tel-Ohio is open to all in Central and Southwestern Ohio. Federally insured by NCUA. Get your game room game day ready with Billiards Plus. Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, and games the whole family will enjoy. Now's the time to get your name on a pool table before the holiday rush. Plus, top-of-the-line grills still in stock. Shop Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
I'll be honest, I'm really worried about my kids and grandkids. I never thought we'd be facing a national abortion ban in this country.
That's Kim. She lives in Cincinnati and is a grandma to 6.
If something happened to my family, I'd want them to have all the help they need. But with a national ban, they'll have nowhere to turn.
Bernie Moreno supports a national abortion ban, and he has said he is 100% against abortion with no exceptions. And if Moreno's in the Senate, he could be the deciding vote to pass a national abortion ban.
Last year, we voted to protect abortion in Ohio. Now, Bernie Moreno wants to get rid of that completely. It's simple. I don't trust Bernie Moreno to do what's right for my family. He should never be Ohio's senator.
Your Community PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Your Community PAC, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Learn more at yourcommunitypac.org.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Guess what? Our ugly faces are on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan and watch all your favorite shows. Laptop, phone, tablet, smart TV, we're everywhere. Bring us in the bedroom with you. Yes, The Fan.
Rita, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
In his campaign ads, Sherrod Brown thinks everything's pretty funny. But it's not when you look at his voting record. Brown voted to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports. Unfair and dangerous. Brown introduced a bill letting transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms. That's just not right. And Brown supported allowing puberty blockers and sex change surgery for children. Migrants are flooding into Ohio, but Brown voted for government handouts to illegal immigrants and voted 10 times to protect sanctuary cities that release dangerous illegal immigrant criminals onto Ohio's streets. Sorry, Sherrod, your seriously bad votes are no joke. And Ohio doesn't think it's funny. Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Low energy, brain fog, or bloating? Your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, it'll be cloudy and windy. Winds gusting up to 25 miles per hour. High 57. Cloudy and cold tonight with a low around 40. Tomorrow, we are looking at mostly cloudy skies with a 40% chance of rain. Highs in the upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
The only radio show Ryan Day listens to when we're holding him hostage, making him listen to a radio show. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Keep your friends close and your producers closer. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And we are sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. A solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss. 3 up and 3 down in college football over the weekend. I think the number one thing that's up, fellas, is college football parity. One thing that I thought would happen with name, image, and likeness, I thought it would happen with the free transfer, is you would get these teams together and all of that influx of talent would allow for there to be less parity. But quite honestly, it's the opposite. You see what's happened to Alabama on a week-to-week basis. You see what happened to Georgia on a week. Georgia should have lost to Kentucky if Mark Stoops coaches it well. Yeah. So Bama loses at Vandy. There is wild parity in the sport, the likes of which we've never seen. And I think one thing that that we did not forecast correctly, Army and Navy are both undefeated and ranked.
Yeah.
How much of that is they've been together, they know what they're doing, they're all rowing in the right direction?
I mean, first of all, it's hard to beat them anyways. I hate the Navy, and they got a position.
Well, you don't hate the Navy, you hate playing the
Excuse
Navy.
me.
Yeah, you love it.
I mean, we don't want those emails.
Yes.
I don't want those emails.
Thank you for clarifying.
We love the United States Navy.
I dislike playing the Navy.
There
yes,
you go. I don't need that.
But the thing is, they got a real shot of actually like being the 12th seed.
Yes.
And if you got to play them, first of all, do you know it's like a crazy stat that if you play the team that you play after playing the Navy, a lot of teams go on to lose because you have to prepare totally different to go up against that Navy offense.
Do you have firsthand experience with that?
Dang, we did lose. Dang. That's funny. We did lose to Virginia Tech after the Navy. Dang. Yeah.
Well,
not only do you love Army and Navy because they're our troops, similarly with the Air Force, you also love Navy because their quarterback is a local kid by the name of Blake Horvath. Played his high school ball at Hilliard-Davidson.
Oh,
that's awesome.
They know a thing or two about double option, triple option, quadruple option football.
Yeah, and Army does the same thing, but they're all rowing together in the same direction. They know each other. They know what they're supposed to be doing. So many of these teams inconsistent week in to week out. Texas is largely the same operation. They went into the portal and landed a couple of guys, but it's been Ewers. It's been that front. There isn't a whole lot of difference from year to year. Penn State, for all of my issues with them and how they don't seem to ever play to their full potential, they are 6-0. They have gotten to that point. It's largely the same guys. When you're working new guys in, there's a little bit of a learning curve that's happening there. So I think that's one of the things is college football parity is here. And it's very, very real.
I want to know what led to that, though, because
I think it's in unfamiliarity, don't you?
I don't know. Like, are teams more relaxed because it's a 12-team playoff? Like, because back when I was playing, like that, you lost maybe one, maybe.
You could lose one.
Yeah, maybe one. Nowadays, like they just struggling with a bunch of. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a bunch of champ teams that go on to be champions and struggle with Purdue or stuff like that. Like that happens, but to me, more times than not, especially this year, it's been teams where I'm looking like there's no way they should even be close to losing this game. Like Alabama, like the Bama thing. Like
they escaped at home after losing to Vandy.
What are we talking about here?
Yeah, they escaped Saturday night, buddy.
About?
Yeah.
Like there's no way that when you go out one week, get upset by one of the worst teams in your conference, and then struggle to win the next week. Like usually you get a response. You usually show up the next week and blow the next team out.
No, no,
it's wild,
and they're going to lose more.
I think so.
Here's another one for 3 Up. ESPN College Game Day. They crushed it. They set the tone. They went to a venue where they are not partners with either of the member schools. They are not going to broadcast an Ohio State or Oregon game until the playoff. They're not partners with them. They're not going to be partners with them for a long time. And they went there, and they delivered. That show was awesome. McAfee was awesome. It set the tone for the day, which was spectacular. And guess what? This week they get Texas, Georgia. So you want to talk about doing it, that's doing it right. Big Noon trying to hang. You can't hang when you go to BYU. You can't hang when this week you go to Indiana. They're at Indiana, Nebraska. Which one are you going to watch? Okay?
Well.
So you got to give them credit where it's due. There's a lot of umbrage you can take with them, and you can have issues with some of the stuff they say. But in terms of doing best by the sport, Game Day did it on Saturday, boys.
Do you think Big Noon has the freedom to go outside of the Big Ten?
That is I don't know. My hunch is that the executives at Fox say, you have one job, and that is to promote shows on our air. And I'm guessing clearly what's happening at ESPN is go to the best game every week.
Yeah.
And if there isn't a best game, then then the tiebreaker is a partner, but otherwise go to the best game. Another one for 3 Up. Ashton Genty, his Heisman hopes. You know why?
200 yards again, didn't
he? He played against Hawaii late, but more so because Travis Hunter went down with an injury.
Yeah.
It was never going to be about Colorado winning enough. I thought they were always going to win enough. Reese, you and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Can he stay upright?
Yeah,
the reality is playing 44 out of 45 plays and over 100 plays a game, you can't.
I mean, that's just too much on the human body. I don't know why they didn't see it last season and be like, no, it'll be fine to do the same thing this year.
The problem is they're not good enough to blow anybody out.
They need him on both sides to win football games, to stay relevant. And I do think that's his detriment is because they need to win football games.
I've never been a fan. Like, even when Charles did it, even when all these other receivers or DBs did it, it wasn't every snap. It was like a couple plays on offense here and there in a big spot maybe. But to take every single snap, I've had games at Ohio State where I played 100 snaps between defense and special teams. I did it like 3 times. And don't get me wrong, my body was fine. I felt like I was good. But what they did was they made you not practice as much that week and stuff like that. But to do that, to think in my mind, I did 100 snaps playing defense and special teams, and then you want me to go play every snap of offense, I wouldn't make it through the season. Nobody would. You can't do it. Like, it has to stop.
Did you hit the ice tub after?
Yeah, it was mandatory.
How did you look after that? Did you have like the ice bags like taped on your joints?
No. Reeser, come on now. I had the body of a Greek guy.
I didn't nap. I don't nap.
I had the Greek guy body, so therefore I was fine. And I tried to skip out on ice tub. How about that?
But how about that? Felt good.
Coach Mick wouldn't let me.
Who needs recovery?
Let me get you I'm going to get you 3 down real quick. Ole Miss is cooked. So you're looking for the SEC team that was too highly valued. It's Ole Miss. If Lane Kiffin couldn't get into a 12-team playoff with this team, with the amount of money they spend in the portal, then he ain't getting there with anybody. So they had it. They couldn't close it. No, my guess is he ends up at Florida is what I think happens. I think he goes to Florida. But I think if you can't do it with this Ole Miss team, you're not going to do it. They had LSU, and they should have won the game. They're up 7, and it's a 4th and forever that ends up being a game that puts them into overtime. Big Ten newbies, UCLA, USC, Washington, all hammered. Washington hammered at Iowa. Hammered. UCLA can't beat anybody. USC losing at home after the start they had. 3 conference losses for USC already. And the last one is Oklahoma. I don't know the roadmap there. I don't know how they're going to recruit it.
I forgot Washington got smoked.
Smoked, Coach.
Yeah,
Iowa.
Which is shocking because Washington actually they have a decent team. Like, I watch them every week. They have a really decent team. I was shocked that they couldn't put up points like that. And Ohio State gave you the blueprint of how to beat Iowa, and you couldn't. All you had to do is follow that.
No. All right. Austin Ward was there. He'll join us coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
There's nothing like having Common Man and T-Bone resting on your bosom.
Oh, for someone with no breasts, you've done very well for yourself.
Gross. Pick up the latest T-shirt in the fan store or pick up merch from a show you actually like. We even have Ohio State and jacket stuff. Head to 971thefan.com.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Jerry, I think I invented something. Does it solve a problem? It solves a big problem.
Get Eco.
ECO. Heating and cooling companies are telling people your furnace and AC isn't worth fixing. You need to replace it with a whole new system.
You invented a solution for that?
I invented a way to fix those systems for free.
Get Eco.
ECO.
That's a great invention. How does it work?
Step 1 is to pay ECO to fix it.
I thought you said you'd fix it for free.
Step 2 is that we give you back all the money that you paid us, up to $1,500 when you get ECO to replace it.
Get Eco.
ECO.
What if your repair keeps my system running for several more years?
That would mean you got all those extra years for free.
Paying ECO to fix your furnace is like putting money in the bank.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
Get Eco.com.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. The people who refuse to make trade-offs in life. Like Kelly, when her old car insurance got so expensive that she couldn't afford to drive anymore, do you think she started carrying her groceries for miles? No. But she did find Direct Auto's savings that allowed her to drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25%, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a quote today at directauto.com. Savings based on applied discounts and will vary. Terms apply. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Ohio Basement Authority comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at ohiobasementauthority.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
He knows everything about the Buckeyes. He's been offered tens of dollars by a certain team to spill his secrets. He's told that certain team to go to hell.
Damn you all to hell!
He's Austin Ward.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. More life, more energy.
Well, buddy, this did not go the way either you or I thought that it would. You've had some time to reflect. What jumps out to you about what went down Saturday night in Eugene with 48 hours of perspective?
Well, my mind is still racing and reeling from what happened out there. There's so much to cover. So many things happened in that game, and definitely Oregon met that moment, and they deserve credit first and foremost for what they did. Some of the questions that I had about them from the first 5 games, they answered against Ohio State. I still got back to Columbus last night thinking that Ohio State did more to lose this game than Oregon did to win. And I know that there's shades of gray, and it's maybe unfair to put it that way, but you look at the mistakes that happened in the first half with you can't lose the turnover battle. We said that all last week, Bo. You had the early fumble when Ohio State had a chance to really put its foot down on that first quarter drive. A lot of game after that, obviously. But then the special teams breakdown, penalties popping up, and then Ohio State's defense just particularly up front. And we can talk about the coverage or the lack of pressure, and I think they're probably tied together. But, that was not a performance that not a vintage Silver Bullets performance, and not one that would be befitting of the number one total defense in the country. So, I just, I'm sure they feel differently in Eugene, but based on what I've seen from Ohio State and the way that the last couple of years have gone, this one has to feel like another one that just the Buckeyes cost themselves rather than the other way around.
You mentioned there not a vintage Silver Bullet performance. When talent equates, this is what it's been.
Yeah, I mean, that's the unfortunate reality that there were some of the same hallmarks from what we've seen from the loss to Georgia when the Ohio State offense and C.J. Stroud did more than enough to win that game. We can quibble about how effective, how efficient some of the offensive outings were in the game against Michigan, but there were opportunities late in those games, especially in the second half, whether that was stopping the run or finding a way to get to the quarterback, where Ohio State was simply not able to do that. And to me, Bo, the common theme is that the defensive line has not been able to get consistent pressure or really any pressure at all on the quarterback. They've been moved up front. They've not been able to stop the run in some of the, most notably in the games against Michigan, but they were also attacked on Saturday night against Oregon. This has been a trend for several years in a row. I think there's probably been people in the last couple of years that have grown pretty tired of me talking about it, but when you got into the big games, that has been the area that, to me, has been most underwhelming, and that's shouldn't be a lack of talent issue. They have 2 5-star defensive ends out there. Tyleik Williams is playing like an All-American when he's been healthy in the first few games, is what he did last year. I don't know where the disconnect truly lies, but the defensive line, to me, has been the single biggest issue that has kept Ohio State from reaching any of its championship goals over the last 3 years.
Ouch. Well, let me take you to the offensive side of the ball. And
now that we've done that.
Yeah, now that we've handled that, Austin, you got that off your chest. And I know you feel better, when you get it out, you feel a little bit better.
I don't feel good talking about it, Tyvis. I mean, I wish that I didn't have to. The fact that the issue, I know you want to ask about the offense, but the fact that these things keep happening repetitively and in the same spot, I don't enjoy it, and I don't think anybody else wants to hear me talk about it either.
Well, let me ask you about the offense so we can get off of that. It was a point in that game where Travion and Quinshawn looked really good running the ball, and then we went away from that. And then everybody goes also to, after Emeka makes that great catch, they decide to throw the ball instead of running the ball when they had some success. Why do you think that they went away from the run?
Because they were averaging less than 1.5 yards per carry in the second half, and they had Josh Simmons in the locker room with a season-ending injury and Tegra Shabola hurt. Like, the offensive line was patchwork, and I think they were trying to scheme up anything they could to get through that second half. And we can always look at the play calling. Well, would the dam have broke if they kept plugging away at it? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I think you score 31 points on the road against Oregon, you feel pretty good that you are going to leave with a win. So, yeah, and even in that situation, they still drove down the field and want to look at the last few plays. And should they have just been content to kick a long field goal? Do they need to keep attacking down the field? I thought they dialed up some pass plays and got Jeremiah Smith. To me, it wasn't pass interference. You maybe disagree as a defensive back yourself, Tyvis. I don't know, but that looked like some normal hand fighting in the first 5 yards of contact. But, of all the things that I've thought about since Saturday night, offensive play calling is not something that I am concerned about at all.
You said that Josh Simmons is out for the season. How damaging is that to this team?
I think this is going to sound like hyperbole, but when you look at the roster construction here and the way Josh Simmons is playing, I think that's the player that Ohio State could least afford to lose this year. There's a veteran quarterback on this roster who could step in and did at Michigan State for a play. There's, multiple high caliber backs. The wide receiver room is loaded. They play a lot of, different pieces on the defensive side of the football. Like, I don't know that there's anyone who, like Zen Michalski stepped in and was largely solid at left tackle considering the stakes, and maybe down the stretch he can get better with more experience. But I think Josh Simmons was not only Ohio State's best offensive lineman through the first 6 weeks, but he's also the one that is going to be the most challenging to replace.
Austin, all of it, and certainly the defensive gashes. I mean, because that's what these are shots, big shot plays. I went over the drive chart, and it's just giving up these huge plays, these short drives, and the offense is back on the field. It's just the same stuff we've seen a lot, and yet you still have a shot, right? So as you're there and you're watching the last minute or so and that drive from Will, and I thought he was sensational. I don't think you're in the game without him. I don't think there's another quarterback on the roster who could have delivered that performance in terms of an accuracy, in terms of standing tall in the pocket. And it sucks that he's going to have to live with what happened at the end of it. But I'm curious about just the thought process. He said post-game to Clay that the play that they got with 6 seconds when they ran out of clock, they were trying to run to the boundary with a flood, and then he took off. Was there time for that? And I guess bigger picture this is what we do, right? It's a Reaction Monday. We second guess. We go over everything with a fine-tooth comb. What is happening in late game situations where we're just melting down? I agree with you. The play on Jeremiah Smith, that's never called. But at the same time, if you run to the middle, you call a timeout, and you kick a field goal, you give yourself a chance, and you didn't in this instance. How does that get fixed? Because you're going to see Oregon again. You're going to have to beat Texas, let alone Penn State and Michigan.
Yeah, I think, to me, the decision to scramble, I'm not sure that after the pressure got to Will Howard that he had any other choice on the last play of the game. To me, and maybe I'm in the minority on this, I think he did what he could to try and win the game, and you're not in those situations. It came up with Tennessee a couple weeks ago with Nico, and he ran out of bounds, so that's a little bit different. But you can't really simulate that, and you can't look at the clock and try and get 15 yards at the same time. I don't put the onus on Will Howard there. I think that where I thought there could be an adjustment is with Ryan Day taking the headset off and giving up the play calling, is that he may have a better feel for some of these end game situations. And I don't think that Ohio State was aware that after the pass interference call that the clock was going to run. There were 6 seconds right there with a timeout that could have been saved immediately. Now that would have, changed the scenario, maybe the play calling later in the last 15 seconds. But I think, you don't get a point back by keeping that timeout in your pocket. And I think that was probably the bigger issue, is that you had that play with the pass interference on the clock, and then Oregon pushing the right button by what appeared to be an intentional 12-man on the field to eliminate a big play. So, Oregon did the things that it had to do to maximize its opportunity in those closing minutes, and I don't think we can say the same thing for Ohio State.
I think you're right. I think he did it on purpose. I think Lanning, he ran the 12th guy out there. I think all that stuff was real.
Genius.
Yeah, it was. It was really, really smart, and they understood time and circumstances, and Ohio State maybe didn't as well. Great stuff as always, buddy. Obviously, one you and I never thought we'd be doing on this Monday, but sure enough, there it is. Appreciate your perspective.
Yep. See you guys.
All right, that's Austin Ward, dotting the I's in the podcast on the Rivals Network on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We have Thing or Not a Thing coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
This promo is brought to you by Common Man and Timmy Hall's Ping Pong Game. The Fan.
It's Rocktober, baby!
It's Rocktober at Lindsay Honda.
Save with 1.9% financing up to 60 months on every new Lindsay Honda, combined with the Lindsay Difference Package. A value of $1,295 included with every vehicle purchase. We're about going the extra mile to provide you with these unique benefits. Turn up the noise with Lindsay Honda.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference.
With approved credit on select in-stock 24, 25 Honda models. Dealer contribution may affect consumer cost.
Peter, Hothead, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hey guys, it's Anthony Rothman. If you're feeling at a loss for energy or just not upbeat like you used to be, it could be low testosterone. That's right, it affects our moods. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help you get back to your best. But guys have different T levels, so don't go for a standard dosage plan. Look for TRT with an optimized personal treatment plan, like you'll get with the experts at Low T Center. Do it now. Go to lowtcenter.com and book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here from Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, announcing our $99 home preventative maintenance checkup. Carpenter and Bryant will do whatever it takes to get you ready for the fall and winter ahead. Check us out at carpentercolumbus.com. That's carpentercolumbus.com.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
In his campaign ads, Sherrod Brown thinks everything's pretty funny. But it's not when you look at his voting record. Brown voted to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports. Unfair and dangerous. Brown introduced a bill letting transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms. That's just not right. And Brown supported allowing puberty blockers and sex change surgery for children. Migrants are flooding into Ohio, but Brown voted for government handouts to illegal immigrants and voted 10 times to protect sanctuary cities that release dangerous illegal immigrant criminals onto Ohio's streets. Sorry, Sherrod, your seriously bad votes are no joke. And Ohio doesn't think it's funny. Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Don't be fooled by the name. Chops and Reeser are just acquaintances.
Are you guys just co-workers? It should be Bishop and acquaintances. And acquaintances. That's what it should be. I guess Bishop and Friends sounds better.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Reaction Monday. Hit it, Reese.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Apex Plumbing Pros.
All right, so the Jets host the Bills on Monday Night Football. It'll be the second game in as many days in the Meadowlands. We're going to have Monday Night Football on the Fan following Buckeye Roundtable. Ryan Day is going to join the Roundtable program at 7:02-ish per Skip Mossick. Earlier today, Adam Schefter reported Hassan Reddick hired Drew Rosenhaus and Ryan Matha as his new agents. Of course, I think he got fired by his agency last week. Rosenhaus says he's already spoken with the Jets and will be at tonight's game against Buffalo. Quote, "We look forward to working with the Jets to get this resolved as soon as possible. Hassan would like to be a New York Jet for years to come, and our goal is to make that happen." Thing or not a thing?
Okay, that's fine. I would also call Detroit, who just lost Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
I would call Detroit if I'm the Jets and say, hey, this operation isn't going the way we want. Can we interest you in Hassan Reddick? What do we get back on that? Can we get a 2 back for that? What's that look like?
I give up you giving up a 2? I'd take that.
I mean, Detroit's they're trying to win the damn Super Bowl here. They just lost their best defensive player yesterday.
I was thinking even beyond that, even when Hutchinson comes back. Him and Hassan Reddick.
Like for next year? Hutch is done for the year.
Yeah,
right?
he's out. Yeah, he's out.
done. Yeah,
broken tibia. He got surgery last night in Dallas, so you knew that it was serious.
Yeah,
they rushed him to surgery immediately. That's not a bad thing. I tell you what, Drew does get things done though. That's the interesting thing is Drew. But doesn't the Jets they lost their pass rusher Johnson?
They did. They traded for him with. I think the Jets are doing this dirty. Because Reddick wants the whole point of him being traded out of Philly was he wanted a new deal.
Correct.
And everybody who was trying to trade for him knew that he wanted a new deal.
Yeah.
And then the Jets made the trade without being willing to do the new deal. That's why he's salty. I think he's got a point.
That's dumb on the Jets' part.
That's what I'm saying. That's on them, not him.
Yeah, that's dumb on the Jets' part. I don't I know that they said they offered him something and he turned it down. They offered him a contract that would pay him still for the money that he missed or something like that. I seen that report a couple of days ago, but he still turned that down. I wonder what he's asking. I mean, this guy is a top 10 pass rusher. So, I mean, I don't know.
I'm sure he wants to get somewhere in the vicinity of the Miles TJ money. It's my guess. He's not that type of player.
Yeah, you pushing it there. You pushing
he ain't that.
Yeah. I tell you what, the Lions should definitely look into it, though. That's a good one.
Speaking of gangrene, last week SNY's Connor Hughes reported that it does feel inevitable the Jets will get a deal done to acquire Davante Adams. Mike Garafolo reported Sunday that the Las Vegas Raiders are adamant about not eating any of the money they owe Davante Adams to help facilitate a trade. Quote, I'll tell you this, compensation remains a holdup, as does the contract. The Raiders are adamant they don't want to pay a dime of that contract if they move Adams to another team. The Raiders are also said to be seeking a high draft pick plus additional compensation for Davante Adams. Thing or not a thing?
Trade him to the Panthers and be done with it. What? That's what. Trade him to a team that's you want to get him out the AFC. Trade him to an NFC team that's at the bottom of the thing that you're gonna get. The second round pick actually is like the 33rd, 34th, 35 pick. Do that and be done with it.
Do you think that, obviously that compensation would match up for them. Here's the pushback I would give you, though. I don't think the Raiders are in a spot about worrying about if he goes to an AFC or NFC team.
That's true, too.
I mean, it's a long build. They're a long ways off.
So you would be okay sending them to
give me the
Chiefs?
most. I don't even care about, you got a brand new stadium. You've got everything that you need. You're swimming in cash because even when you don't sell out, everybody for the opposing teams comes to your games. So don't worry about paying the contract. Worry about the picks. Give me the picks. I want whoever can put together the best pick package for him. That's what I want. Now, what I don't know is if he has a no trade.
I don't think he doesn't.
He doesn't. So they can send him anywhere. That I didn't know. If they can send him anywhere, then what I do, if I'm the Raiders, is I put a message out to the NFL. I send the Ravens out with messages, and I say, who can give me the most for this guy in terms of draft capital? And whoever that is, he's yours.
Let me ask you something. Do you trust them? How have they been in the draft?
No, but you got to keep taking shots, buddy.
I know they hit one with Brock Bowers. That was a home run.
Well, this is a new regime, so hopefully for their sake they'll be better. The Gruden regime was a disaster in the draft, absolute disaster. But to build something, you need draft compensation, and that's what I'd be going for there. I don't know if Adams puts the Jets over the top at all, but I could see Woody Johnson wanting to do that because it's what Aaron Rodgers wants.
The Jets, it helps. It helps.
No doubt helps.
Devontae Garrett, you probably got to send Mike Williams back to the Raiders. I wouldn't mind that.
I think you could keep Mike Williams. Just give me compensation. Give me draft.
Well, they saying that the general manager at the Raiders was the one who drafted Mike Williams when he was with the Chargers.
Telesco. Yeah, Tom Telesco.
So I think that's what the thing is there.
Yeah.
On Saturday night, the Columbus Crew beat the New England Revolution 4-0 at Lower.com Field. It was the final home match of the regular season for the Black and Gold. Afterwards, the Crew announced after securing 3 points tonight against the New England Revolution, the Crew have set a new club record for wins in an MLS regular season with 18. They're going to close the regular season this Sunday on Decision Day at the New York Red Bulls. If the playoffs started today, the Crew would be the 2 seed in the East. Thing or not a thing?
It's awesome.
Love that thing.
It's awesome. It's a great thing for them. I do think I saw a story about this over the weekend, and I think it's pretty accurate, that MLS's Apple TV package has limited the impact Messi had on the league, and I think it's 100% accurate. That you make a deal like this. It reminds me when the NHL went off of ESPN and they were on Versus and Lifetime and all these other networks. Like, all of a sudden, you go in a closet and you're playing. And you're not being viewed by the people who can see you in a traditional way. Mm-hmm. So be careful what you wish for with those streaming-only packages. It's tougher. But this is a great job out of the crew. They're one of the best organizations in all of sports.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect nothing different. They're definitely on the rise for sure. Last year they won it all, if I remember correctly. Why would they not keep doing better?
Just real quick, Sunday at 1, the Miami Dolphins are at the Joe Flacco's.
Okay.
Actually, Anthony Richardson's, I think, gearing up to retake that starting job.
Don't play. Not if you're trying to win.
I would agree. But Mike McDaniel this morning gave an update on Tua Tagovailoa. Quote, there's still information he's seeking this week. As far as timelines go, I know he's not playing this week. I do expect to see him playing football in 2024, but where that is exactly, we'll let the process continue since we still have time before we could even entertain anything. We'll make sure he's diligent this week and assess after that. Thing or not a thing.
They talking about trading this man?
Oh, no. They're talking about Tua, does he play? Here's what real quick, because I know we're up against it. To me, if I'm Mike McDaniel, I just go to Tua and I say, it's up to you. It's up to you. I'm not going to push you. It's up to you.
Well, if it's up to him, he playing.
Yeah. Yeah, but do you think, it's his own free will, right? The organization can't, if he's cleared and he goes through concussion protocol, organization's not going to say you have to play.
Correct.
It's entirely up to him.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the organization's job to protect him from himself. He's a grown man.
When you get to 6 is the magic number where it's like, we can't.
That's enough.
It's done.
Yeah.
You're done.
All right. We'll blitz the Buckeyes. It won't be fun, but hopefully it'll be therapeutic. That's coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
When that alarm clock goes off, Morning Juice comes on. The perfect way to dominate your day or just lay around the house. Morning Juice.
Weekdays at 6.
The Fan.
Marty Brenneman here for Tri-State Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health for treating erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues. And they're the leader for a reason, because I can tell you from my own experience of being treated there, Tri-State Men's Health is top shelf. Far too many men wait to get their ED treated, but I want to tell you today that you shouldn't wait any longer. If you're suffering with ED and are like most guys, a medical team at Tri-State Men's Health will get you back on track fast. They have the experience, they have the treatment protocols, and they know what they're doing. At Tri-State Men's Health, they have ED treatments that are effective in well over 90% of men. They can even combine treatments for better results. You might even find yourself performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment today. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. They have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
Football fans, are you ready to score big this NFL season? Hey, it's T-Bone to tell you that Bud Light and 97.1 The Fan have teamed up for the ultimate football face-off. Join us each week for football face-off events and your chance to win a trip to Vegas where you'll compete for the grand prize. A trip for 2 to New Orleans or the Super Bowl. Drink Bud Light, enjoy the games, and take your shot at football glory. This week, join me on Sunday at Shakers Public House on Wilson Bridge Road for the Browns-Bengals game. I'll be there from 2 to 4 p.m. to give you a shot at going to the Super Bowl.
Engagement ring shopping doesn't have to be stressful. Join us at Diamond Cellar After Hours on October 17th. Sip some champagne, enjoy live music, and snag an exclusive discount on an engagement ring. And don't stress, you got 90 days to make your move. You can save up to $1,000 while enjoying a fun night out while we help you find the perfect ring. Plus, you'll have a chance to win Ohio State football tickets or Blue Jackets tickets in the new Diamond Cellar Club. RSVP at diamondcellar.com/afterhours, and we'll see you October 17th at Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Save more with digital coupons. California red, white, or black seedless grapes are just 99 cents a pound with your card and digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No. because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Are you ready to build your company's dream team? Just like in sports, finding skilled players is essential for success. With Robert Half's winning combination of specialized recruiting professionals and award-winning AI, we'll help you find the MVPs and key role players who will have you hanging banners in the rafters. Because in business, it's all about having the experienced team on your side. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards RealFit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Number 4, Ohio State's on a bye this week. Buckeyes will host Nebraska next Saturday. Time for the Buckeyes to get right following their 32-31 loss in Eugene over the weekend at number 2 Oregon. Ohio State's head coach Ryan Day will join Paul Keel, Skip Mossick, and Jim Lachey at 7 p.m. on Buckeye Roundtable. Following Monday's Roundtable program, Week 6 in the NFL wraps up in the Meadowlands. The Jets host the Bills at 8:15. In baseball today, the Dodgers host the Mets at 4:08 in Game 2 of the NLCS. Los Angeles crushed New York 9-0 Sunday in Game 1. Tonight in New York, the Yankees host the Guardians in Game 1 of the ALCS. First pitch there is 7:38. Game 2's on Tuesday before the series goes to Cleveland for Games 3, 4, and 5. And on the ice, the Blue Jackets host the Florida Panthers tomorrow night at 7. This update is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Earn a $300 cash bonus at BMI Federal Credit Union when you open a new free checking account. Visit bmifcu.org/free.
Are you fired up? Is it Monday? It must be Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Not interested in Iowa football? Too bad. Shops will tell you about it anyway. This is Bishop and Friends.
Final hour here on a Reaction Monday. We'll blitz the Buckeyes just a second. I did see this tweet from Captain Bucknut to us. The regular season in college football has given teams like Indiana, like Ole Miss, like Utah hope. You no longer have to be the best team in your conference. You can be third, and there's a wider path to 3 than 1. And it's we were talking about that with the playoff, how there's parity and all of that stuff has happened with 12 teams. I think that's probably the best point. I don't love the Utah example just because they're cooked. I don't think you're going to get 2 teams out of the Big 12, and I don't think you're going to get 2 teams out of the ACC unless it's Clemson and Miami. If they can both go, then perhaps those 2 could go. But I do think a team like Indiana.
Wait a minute. What about SMU?
Oh my ponies!
Look at you. You ruled them out. That's a shame.
Well, I think 2 are going.
I expected better out of you.
You're right. Good job out of you to call that out. You got to pony up. I'm so distracted by what happened at the end on Saturday night. It's hard for me to wrap my head around it. But I think it's a good point in terms of Indiana. Indiana, if they could somehow get to 11-1, which is nuts.
They get to 11-1 and build that man a statue. If they hit 11-1, Cignetti is getting a statue, and 100% he's taking the Florida job.
He's 63 though.
He's taking the job.
No, I know. But would they offer it, or would they? Yeah, I mean that's the only thing. Is what took him so long to get this job?
I don't know, Bo. A guy comes in at Indiana and takes him to 11-1. I think Florida would love that.
The winning.
Where did Urban come from? Utah at the time, right? He left Utah for Florida. Yeah, I think they would take that.
All right, let's blitz the Buckeyes.
Bishop and Friends present Buckeye Blitz.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
All right, Reese, we do this well. What do we do well?
Well, Ohio State's certainly good at acquiring talent. How they utilize it sometimes is variable. Good, sometimes bad.
Mr. Powell?
I love that answer.
Sometimes maybe
his answer
good.
every week.
Sometimes maybe good. Sometimes maybe bleep.
It's his answer every week.
Oh my goodness, they throw the ball well. That's one thing that you can take that to the bank that they're going to be able to throw the ball.
That's what I said too. I said we throw it. I think we can throw it and beat everybody. Obviously, there are some physical limitations with Will that, for example, Quinn Ewers doesn't have in terms of an ability to drive the ball big time down the field. But he was very decisive in his throws. He was very accurate in his throws. And with Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka, you can do about anything you want.
Yeah.
I think it's telling that when they needed big plays, they threw it to 4 a lot. And they went his way a lot. So that tells you the amount of confidence they have in him. But, yeah, they can throw it, and they can throw it as good enough to be able to win a national title. Won't beat Georgia or Texas or whoever if we continue to do what, Reese?
Blake, big play busts. It's a lack of adjustments defensively. Like, if guys aren't getting home with what you're sending, send more.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We don't get no pressure on the QB, or we don't get TFLs or anything like that with the defensive line. There's no way. There's no way. The game is always, to the end of time, it's going to be won and lost in the trenches every time. And if our D-line can't get it done, we don't stand a chance.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. When talent equates, we are mediocre on defense. It just is what it is. I mean, it's 500 yards to Oregon. I mean, it's just not it. And it's the gash plays, these big hits that they gut you as a player when you have a 2-play, 60-yard drive. It just is gutting, and it's happening far too often. I'd like to see more of what, Reese?
Defensive adjustments. Can I get some more blitzing, please?
I was going to say sacks and takeaways. I think that's the ultimate. Takeaways is the ultimate equalizer in football. If you can find a way to get takeaways, you'll always have a chance to be in that game or win that game. One thing that I don't think we really got a lot of, and we didn't get any sacks last week, so there you go.
I don't think we weaponize our talent well on the defensive side of the ball. I watched Caleb Downs last year at Alabama. That man was a hair on fire.
All-American.
For 60. All-American. Safety. Every once in a while you see a play where he's a comet and you're like, yeah, but do we weaponize him the way that we should? I don't have the answer to that. Wasn't the MVP of a national championship game on the defensive side of the ball. I've never coordinated a defense outside of 7-year-olds. But we don't weaponize our talent. And that goes for JTT and Sawyer and all of them. Like, I don't see our best players wreaking havoc when talent equates, and I don't understand why.
You know, that's been a thing that's been going on for quite some time. The guy that I always point to is Baron Browning. Baron Browning, as an Ohio State Buckeye, was okay. He was okay. He goes to the NFL, becomes a pass rusher, and takes off. And my question is, why didn't he do that here? If he was that good of a pass rusher, why did we not do that here? And I feel like we do that now with certain guys now. C.J. Hicks,
you're right.
Where is he at? Arvell Reese, where is these guys at? Why aren't they blitzing? Why aren't they rushing the passer? I think we're really missing out on a lot of their production.
Coach who earned his courtesy car this week, Reese, who do you got?
Nope, you can all walk.
Dang.
Yes. I think so, too. I think Uber it.
I was going to say Chip Kelly. He's the quarterback's coach. You know,
well, up until the last play of the game.
I still don't understand. I mean, that was such a crazy thing that Will said to Clay post-game. With 6 seconds that we're trying to flood the boundary.
I just don't understand.
I don't understand with a time. I don't understand
that. Did they not think they had a timeout?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, the coaching staff can ride that timeout home.
Wow.
I don't know what the thinking was there, because the whole time I'm sitting there with the boys and I'm going like, the boys are panicking because you would be. I'm like, dudes, guys, you're good. You got a timeout. You can get a slant. It's a long field goal, but you can.
Bo,
you can try it.
I'm gonna give you an example. You know what I thought of in that moment? You remember when Buffalo played the Chiefs, right?
Yes.
And it was that big shootout. And Travis Kelce ran that little play because they needed to get down in field goal range.
Yes.
And they had about, 6 seconds to do this.
Yeah.
And they ran that play, called timeout, kicked the field goal, and went on, obviously, to win that game. I thought we would do something similar. I really did. I thought that, you got a timeout. When you got the timeout, that's the great equalizer in this. I don't have to worry about getting out of bounds. The defense is thinking that I'm going to have to get out of bounds. I'm going to run a quick bang 8 or something like that, throw it to him, get down, call timeout, kick the field goal. I just don't understand why we didn't do that.
I don't either. Be second guess for a long time. Game ball's offense, Reese, who gets yours?
I'll give one to Travion Henderson.
That's a good one.
He's admirable.
That's a good one. I'm giving mine to Will Howard. I thought going into this game, he was the big question mark. I wanted to see how he performed in the big game. And listen, up until that last play, I thought he did his job. He did exactly what he needed to do. He looked poised. The moment didn't seem too big for him. I like what I saw from him.
I went with him, too. You'd like to have the drop snap back earlier in the game. You'd like to not trip on your own feet to start the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Neither of those are ideal. But I thought every throw that had to be made, he could make. As I mentioned, the deep ball, make you defend every blade of grass. He ain't Quinn Ewers, few are. But everything else, I thought he did great. I thought it was incredible how quickly he got you down the field with a position to win the game. And I think you kind of let him down more than anything else on the end of that there in terms of understanding the management and the time and circumstances. Game ball defense, Reese, any?
I'm going to give it to Davison Igbinosun for not committing violence on Trayshawn Holden.
Well, I'm going to take it away from Davison Igbinosun for not
committing violence.
For not committing violence.
Nationally televised game, Tyvis.
No, I have nobody. There's the game ball goes to Tyvis Powell. There we go. The last time we beat Oregon, Tyvis Powell was pretty good in that game. Just saying.
He was. Yes, he was. Let me ask you this. A man spits in your face. You do what?
Can you say it on the air?
Stuff that can't be said on this air because this is a family show.
I can only dump so much.
It's a family show.
Great composure to do it, but that was crazy. Big Ten threat level. I think we saw it firsthand.
They're quacking and Autzen.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah,
they're really good.
There's nobody.
Listen, for all of the stuff we've talked about today, let's not let it get lost in the weeds that Oregon can absolutely win a national title. Yeah. They got the quarterback to do it. They got the weapons to do it. They were playing without their best defensive player. They can make plays on that side of the ball as well, but they can score with anybody. And Dylan Gabriel's better than I thought. He is. I didn't realize he could stretch the field the way that he did. Just didn't. All right, you have my attention now nationally. Who has your attention, Reese?
I guess it's Oregon. Nobody else was all that impressive. Texas, but they're the number one team in the country, so they should have your attention.
I'm going LSU. I thought that was a big win for them to come back in the fashion that they did, kept them alive. And obviously LSU is always going to have talent. I seen their post-game clips. They got some dogs on that team. So
yes, they do.
That's something that I also worry about when they're going up against the Buckeye, if we had to play them.
I'm going to go Clemson here. They were drilled by Georgia in the opener, and they've flipped it. They're a pretty quality team right now. They played Wake, so they're supposed to do that, but they buried them. So they're handling their part. And that ACC, you mentioned my ponies, also Miami and Clemson. That thing could get interesting, and maybe they could be more than a one-team, one-bid league, maybe two. Can this team win it all grade? Reese?
It's an A-.
I was A-, B+ for me.
I can't go A because of it's too much because of what we are defensively. I can't
B+
go A. So I go B, above average, but there are some finite things that are happening defensively that when talent equates, we've seen it. Too much. It's too much. So this is going to be a long week and a lot to examine this week. It is going to be a long week in Berea as well. The Bengals feel a little better about themselves. We'll touch on both of those coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
This is a friendly reminder that hockey is back, and it's awesome. Hockey? Ice hockey? You're listening to Blue Jackets Week. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
High Bank Distillery is hosting Battle of the Burgers October 14th through the 19th. Visit High Bank's 3 locations. Get yourself an $8 burger. Upload your burger. Tag High Bank on social media for a chance to win free burgers for a year. Details at highbankco.com/battle.
Columbus, the wait is over. Blue Jackets hockey is back. Come feel the boom all season long. Be here Tuesday, October 15th for the home opener, presented by Nationwide. Get your tickets today at bluejackets.com.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. Fall is here. It's the perfect time to replace those old, drafty windows before the cold sets in. As temperatures drop, you don't want to be stuck with windows that make your heating system work overtime because that will cost you money. My guys at Universal Windows Direct back everything up with a true lifetime warranty as long as you own the home and a 20-year warranty to the next homeowner. Plus 0% financing for 60 months. Restrictions apply because they always do. Call them today, 614-502-5220, or go to uwd.com.
Rita, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Remember how that little girl in Poltergeist was in the TV? Yeah? Well, she's actually dead now. It's quite sad. Anyway, watch your favorite fan shows on your TV by subscribing to us on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan. Do it now.
In his campaign ads, Sherrod Brown thinks everything's pretty funny. But it's not when you look at his voting record. Brown voted to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports. Unfair and dangerous. Brown introduced a bill letting transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms. That's just not right. And Brown supported allowing puberty blockers and sex change surgery for children. Migrants are flooding into Ohio, but Brown voted for government handouts to illegal immigrants and voted 10 times to protect sanctuary cities that release dangerous illegal immigrant criminals onto Ohio's streets. Sorry, Sherrod, your seriously bad votes are no joke. And Ohio doesn't think it's funny. Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
If you recently lost health coverage due to a life change, healthcare.gov is here for you. Like it was there for Marcus when he lost his job, and Keisha when she turned 26 and lost her parents' insurance, and Elena when she went off Medicaid. There are many other ways to qualify. Visit healthcare.gov today to see if you're eligible to enroll. Limited time to enroll. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If a friend asks how you're doing, and you say,
I'm okay.
When the truth is,
I don't want my problems to burden anyone.
Or you say,
hang it in there.
Because
if I ask for help, they'll just think I'm weak.
Then this is your sign to call, text, or chat 988 for free, confidential support. Anytime. You don't have to hide how you feel.
Longing for thick, healthy, gorgeous hair? Say goodbye to shedding thin and dull hair and hello to thick, healthy hair with hair volume from New Nordic.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Cloudy with a 20% chance of rain, high 58. Tonight, cloudy and cold with a low around 40. And then heading into your Tuesday, we are looking at a mostly cloudy sky with a 40% chance of rain, highs in the upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Dylan Rubishod with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
If your idea of the perfect radio show is all Buckeyes all the time, then it's your lucky day, Slappy, the Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are. And hey there, friends, it's your Uncle Bo here. If you're like me and millions of men out there and you find yourself feeling a little sluggish, a little tired, a little bit off, energy maybe not what it used to be, maybe you're not sleeping great. I know I wasn't. If those symptoms apply to you and you're 30 or over, it's possible even likely you're suffering from low testosterone. And there is help on the way with my friends at Tri-State Men's Health. For me, it was just wanting to be able to say yes to the boys. Dad, will you play hoops? Dad, will you play golf? Yes, yes, yes. And since I've been on the treatments with Tri-State Men's Health, the yeses have been much more easy to come by. If this stuff sounds like you, head to tristatemenshealth.com, take the low T quiz on the website. If the symptoms apply, you simply schedule a consult with Tri-State Men's Health. They're going to do the lab work, results in about 30 minutes. It's a simple, discreet process. Then you're going to make the decision together with the medical team. Cost of the appointment is $99. That includes the consult, the TNPSA test. If you try it on the day that you go in there, that appointment is going to be free. So you win as big as you can. Give them a call today, 800-900-9654, tristatemenshealth.com. 2 locations here in town, quick exit off 270 in Hilliard, near Medical Mile in Westerville as well on that side of things. I got to be honest with you, in terms of the 2 NFL teams in our, let's get rid of the Browns first. Let's do this first.
All right.
I got to say, from a Browns perspective, I thought this was okay. This is fine. Philly's good.
It was better than what you thought it would be.
Yeah. No, I thought they would cover. I picked them to cover. By the way, the Scores had a nice week. We did pretty good last week on college and NFL, so that's nice to kind of get that going a little bit. But Philly's a good team. They were coming off of a bye. They got healthy with their receivers. You lost 20-16. So in a vacuum, okay, that's fine. And Watson was like 11-12 in the second half.
Yeah.
And I understand it's all stuff intermediate and short, but so what? He wasn't doing that the first 5 games of the season.
This is where we are.
That is. So, this was a fine loss. The problem is you had not fine losses before this. That's what makes this one suck. It's not this one in a vacuum. It's what led to all of this, fellas.
Yeah. Because realistically, you could be sitting at 3-3 right now and be 7th seed or something like that.
Even if you're 2-4 like the Bengals, you feel okay.
Yeah, you know about that. I think the reason being is that you had an opportunity and you didn't. You had it was what 13. It was 13-20, right? Yeah, 13.
Well, you have a Superman who wears number 5 for you, who jumps the kick, hurdles the line of scrimmage, and blocks a kick for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Made it seem closer than it was, because it's 10-3 setting up for a 57-yard field goal.
Yeah.
And then Miles goes, "I'm Superman, watch this."
Yeah. But the thing is, I think what I liked about, forget the loss. Listen, the Browns are just not good this year. And as a Browns fan, when you come to terms with that, you'll have better Sundays, because the difference is that you come into the season with expectations. Because of last year, you come in with the expectations that we're going to go playoffs, maybe potentially Super Bowl. See, if you go back to the 0-16, 115 mindset, you knew that you were going to lose. You knew that you weren't good. So, therefore, it didn't wreck your Sundays, and you have to come to terms with that. But the thing that I liked coming out of this game is that they asked Deshaun, as I'm doing post-game, I'm listening to Deshaun talk, and they asked him about the offense.
Yeah.
And for the first time, he looked frustrated. He sounded frustrated. He said, "Me, Ken, and Kevin got to figure something out, because this is not working." When I heard that, I said,
"No kidding.
Thank you. We've been trying to tell you that for 6 weeks now. It's interesting to me when I watch that game that they finally decided to go under center for zone. And I'm wondering, I was talking to Reeser about this, I'm wondering if they're doing that because they know Nick Chubb comes back, allegedly, this upcoming week. So are they getting themselves geared back up to go from under center to run play action and stuff like that, and run zone from under center? And my answer to that would probably be yeah.
Yeah, this sets up, they set it up pretty easily with, and I think, didn't Amari Cooper have another kind of boneheaded drop where it hits you?
He had a bad drop high. Yeah,
right where you put
both hands on it.
I called them to Odell, or Baker and Odell is just like Deshaun and Amari right now. 2 good players that when they're together, they can't seem to figure it out. When they're separate, they do well.
It does set up, and I know as I picked Cleveland plus the 9.5, which, I'll pat myself on the back for. I know this is going to come from the heart, but as a Browns fan, this is kind of where I'm at. If they can, because they showed it a little more Watson offensively in the second half. You bring Nick Chubb in. Again, don't know how many carries he's going to get Sunday against Cincinnati. Factor that with Joe Burrow being 1-5 against this Browns team. Why not?
Here's the deal. If Browns fans think that Nick Chubb, and I know he loves Batman and the Bat Signal and all of that. If you think you're getting Nick Chubb prior to injury Sunday, I don't mean to pour water on your bonfire, but he ain't going to be that.
Just took an axe to the Bat Signal.
What if he is?
He ain't going to be that.
What if he is?
There it is. What if? Come on.
You got to have some hope.
He can be 70% of that.
What they need to do.
He ain't going to be that.
Every day release a different video of him squatting. And it doesn't matter when it's from. Just say that it's from that day. Like he's leg day Monday, leg day Tuesday, leg day Wednesday, leg day Thursday, 500 pounds.
Nick will be active. I think he will play. But he will not have that type of impact. Here's what I would tell you as to why they did what they did offensively. Because, my friend, they ain't got no other choice. This is who Kevin is.
Really?
This is who Kevin is.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They tried, and they're brutal offensively. I'm not even going to have bad people taking shots at their defense. Go, forget it.
No,
the amount of stop it.
There's
it's
shots,
3 and out.
There's
every
shots.
Play.
Wait a minute, Bo. There's some shots you can take because my boy Emerson. I don't know. He got something going on.
Yeah. Well, there is that side of it, but in terms of this is a team that Kevin Stefanski made his hay in the Shanahan-Kubiak tree.
I said the same thing.
And they made a decision as an organization this offseason to go shotgun to get the most out of their quarterback. This quarterback is not worth that gamble.
I agree.
And they should have known it before the start of the season. They tried to turn him into something that he was 4 years ago. He ain't ever going to be that again.
I agree.
So they got to get back to who Kevin is and who they are as a group.
You sound like me about a week or two ago when I said, listen, it's got to be some hard conversation. Kevin, go in there. This is what I would do. I would go right to my video person. I would say, I need you to put me together a presentation of all the times Deshaun was hit and sacked this season. Send it to my email. Thank you very much. I say, Deshaun, come in my office. Let me talk to you for a second. Right now, what I'm about to show you is how our season is for you as quarterback. And I'd play that thing. It'll be about 10 minutes long because he got hit and sacked a bunch. And I would stop it and I would say, listen, if you want to make it through the rest of this season, we going back from under center, play action, and all of those things because Baker, all of those guys, they didn't get hit this bad. Like, this is terrible, right? No. I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to extend your career a couple of years. You taking a lot of hits. And the realization is he needs to say, you know what? And the interesting part, I was telling Reeser about this. When they went and got Deshaun, didn't him and Kevin sit down and he said, I like what Kevin's stuff is, and blah, blah, blah. So why, if you love it so much, why change it?
I think what he really loved was the combination of $230 million guaranteed.
Yeah, clearly.
And the talent
I love
on
anything.
the roster.
You tell me about it.
And the talent on the roster. Because it was the Browns and one other team. I think it was Carolina who offered the $230 fully guaranteed. The Falcons and the Saints were also doing almost anything they could to get him. But you look at those two operations and say, well, man, I got Nick Chubb. I'll take that. And that defense, Miles, okay, I got that. I'm going to tell you what, if they don't make any change, and he said post-game he's not.
At quarterback or play caller? Or
at quarterback.
Okay.
And he said they're not.
Yeah, they're not.
This will be an awkward Sunday up there. Like, I'm going to tell you something. Announce the defense. Do not announce the offense. Do not.
Talk about it at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm saying announce the defense and announce Nick Chubb, and that's it.
Wait a minute. I forgot who had the intros the last time I was there, because it rotates every game.
Yeah. It was defense.
Well, they better do it again.
You got to flip it. All right, we'll get to the Bengals and also the ALCS, baby. The Guardians and the Yankees. It's Major League. It's actually happening. Win the whole blanket thing. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. The Daily Coach Ryan Day Show is brought to you locally by Credit Union of Ohio and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
This is a Daily Show with Coach Ryan Day, brought to you by Safe Light Auto Glass. 32-31, the final here in Eugene. Oregon defeats Ohio State. Coach, I know you talk about how one play in any instance can be a determining factor in a game like this, and I know there's got to be a lot of those plays you're looking back on.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't come down to one play, and that's the whole thing, is leaving no doubt. And it came down to one play, so we could point to a lot of things here, different calls, things that came up, but it shouldn't have come down to one play. That's the bottom line. And it did, and it cost us the game.
Another comment in just a moment. Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
The Buckeyes dropped a 32-31 decision here to Oregon. And
Coach, you overcame a lot of penalties. You had 8 in this ballgame, but that last one was just a little bit too much. I mean, we thought you were in field goal range. I mean, all that was looking good, but that offensive pass interference just put you back, and you had to scramble to make some yards after that.
Yeah, no, we fought like hell to get down there, and guys grabbing on Jeremiah. He fights to get off of him right there, and they call it, and that's the game.
Coach, pass defense-wise, obviously they got some good receivers and they got a heck of a quarterback. We're looking at that. What do you think you have to do?
I don't know. We got to get on the film and figure it out. But way too many plays and too many explosives. And when you give up that many explosive plays, you're not going to win games, and it cost us.
It's the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
What do football and finances have in common? The team you play with makes a big difference. Credit Union of Ohio is your financial team to help you save and spend like a winner. Whether you're looking to make a big purchase or find ways to build up your savings, you'll always work with a team player at Credit Union of Ohio. Navigate your next big money play easily through Credit Union of Ohio's website at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations, in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
Integrity, honesty, and quality. Words we live by here at Monogram Homes. Hi, this is Dina. And at Monogram Homes, we strive to bring your wants to your man cave, your needs to your kitchen, and your ideas to life. Most home builders claim to be custom, but starting with stock floor plans and templates isn't our idea of a tailored experience. At Monogram Homes, we start with a blank slate and work with you until you get exactly what you want. So start your true custom home journey today with a builder you can trust. Monogram Homes. Visit us online at monogramhomes.net.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Obviously, tomorrow we'll have much more on the NFL side of things. A little bit more reaction to what happened with the Browns and Philly and also the Bengals. I do want to I got two Guardian super fans here, so I want to get you guys a little bit of time to bounce around and bask in the glow of that. But I did want to mention this with the Bengals. I thought it was critical that they won the way they won, with their defense holding firm, because it had been Burrow 300 yards every game for the last 5 games, and they were losing, and their defense finally bowed up. I thought, and by the way, the Giants are more than fine. They went out to Seattle and won last week. Like they're okay. They're not one of the worst teams in the league, and you had to get a stop at their place in a must-win mode, and you got it. And I think the way they got it means a lot to them.
Let me ask you something, Bo.
Go ahead.
Because everything you said is true. Does Malik Neighbors change that?
Mm-hmm.
See, so like
but I can't worry about that.
See,
I can't worry about that. I'll worry about that when I play Malik Neighbors. From the Bengals' perspective, like, here's the thing:
are they fine? Is the question. Did you walk out of that game and say, you know what, they're fine? They can still go. They're going to be a playoff team.
I did.
Okay.
And the reason I did is because normally Burrow's going to throw for 300 against a team like that. They did not get Chase going at all. So their offense, I think their offense is more of what we've seen the last 4 or 5 games and what we saw last night. But I think if their defense, they don't have to be great. They just can't be the worst defense in the league. And then you can be a playoff team. They're not going to beat Kansas City. They're not going to win the Super Bowl, that type of stuff. But
are they
in terms of
Kansas City in the regular season?
I think they play them. They do, yeah. I'm almost sure they do.
Okay. Yes, yeah, okay. I got you.
So you'll see it. It'll be the postseason. I just thought it mattered that they won the way they did. I think the defense holding firm and getting stops and getting off the field, I think that mattered for Cincinnati. No, because they hadn't had one of those.
I agree with you on that one. You got to see it one time to start believing in it. Maybe it's something that they build off of. They got some turnovers. That was... I told you, takeaways is always the great equalizer. You get some takeaways. It's like that makes everything better. So it was nice seeing that. I thought they covered well. Although Malik Neighbors wasn't out there, Wan'Dale Robinson probably was the next guy. Darius Slayton I think he caught I want to say he caught like a touchdown or a fade, if I remember correctly.
Well, they got him on a pass interference on one.
That's what it was. Okay,
Deep. Yeah.
So, it ain't fixed by any means.
No.
Fixed.
It's not fixed. No.
I'll be interested to see what happens this Sunday, but it's nice for them to get a win. Obviously, it's going to be a challenge if our defense step up, which
1-5
with this secondary, I'm scared.
1-5.
I'm scared.
1-5.
I'm so scared of it.
That place, the anger in that place on Sunday, boys. You're going to feel it.
Let me take a looky-loo here. The Bengals are 4.5-point road favorites in this one.
Listen,
start to believe that, by the way.
But the thing is what they're good at is what I'm worried about on defense. Like they're Joe Burrow and that receivers, they're clicking. Like they're throwing the ball. He's slinging it for 300 a game. Mm-hmm. Right now, we're struggling in the passing attack, especially when Denzel's not on the field. Like Martin got to show up on a report at some point. Like it's got to be somebody need to tell me like he battling like a knee injury or ankle or something. I need something. Like,
is it mental? That's position.
You're not going to tell me that this man went from guarding Justin Jefferson and having a good little solid thing against Justin Jefferson to what I see on Sundays for the past couple of weeks. I can't fathom.
I'm going to tell you something
that's
else.
The truth.
I don't need to see Greg Newsome dancing anymore when he makes a breakup.
Yeah.
I don't need to see that.
Yeah.
I asked Tyvis before the show if Newsome had ever been picked up before. Like if he'd ever seen a pick play before. Where he comes across the middle and just
Bo, did you
quits.
watch that?
Of course I watched it.
Listen,
what am I, hard of watching?
But the only thing is not the fact that they picked him. It was a great call by Kellen Moore. You realize they was in man. Obviously a man beater is rub routes. It's not the fact that happened. It's the fact that he quit. He seen that he was going to get picked, and he didn't try to fight. He didn't try to go under it and try to get back up. He didn't try to go over it. He just stopped. And I was like, what is that? Like, what is that? What are we doing? What are we teaching? What's the culture on defense now? Because last year what I seen, this team this year is nowhere near what I seen last year culture-wise.
No. I think that's fair. They got culture across town up there, though, and that is with the Guardians. Because of the weather, they moved that to 108, so I was actually able to watch some of that. My wife's a Clevelander, and so is locked in. I said, you haven't watched a Guardians game all summer. And she's like, yeah, but we're in it now. So she's bandwagoning.
It's the fall, baby.
The boys, it was so funny. Like, the boys don't even know anything about baseball because they haven't played it since they were really, really little. They went lacrosse. So, like, they don't know what Cy Young is. They don't know, like, what those awards, nothing. But they're all in. They're jacked up. This is awesome. It's awesome. By the way, baseball is having themselves a hell of a month from a rating standpoint. I don't know if you've seen the Dodgers games have been enormous. They haven't given up a run, by the way, in 33 innings. The Dodgers, that seems like a pretty good recipe for winning. But let's talk about the Guardians, Reese. You've watched them every game all summer long. They were clutch when they needed to be. They won at Detroit, and then they had an inning that no one will ever forget on Saturday.
Fifth inning, Tarek Skubal, the Cy Young Triple Crown pitcher. And I'd have to give it to Tyvis because when the Guardians acquired Lane Thomas at the deadline, I said, no, they need starting pitching more than an outfielder that can hit. And Tyvis said, trust me. And I didn't at the time.
You know, I've become a baseball expert.
Feels like it.
Trust me. I've become a no, because they need sticks. Think about it. That's the one thing at the end.
Which you weren't wrong on that, but at the time I was like, they need starting pitching.
I mean, they got it. They got Cobb, so we were fine.
We'll see him tonight.
Yeah, I guess we will see tonight. But Lane Thomas, from a historic standpoint, like, he hit home runs, and that was something that you need in your lineup. You needed to lengthen out this lineup. You had Quan, Jose, and Josh. That was it. Yeah. You needed somebody else to get you at least deeper in the rotation or in the lineup to do some damage. And Lane Thomas has been he's been a sensation. Now, don't get me wrong, Stephen Kwan's doing his thing too, but Lane Thomas has come up with some of the biggest hits in this postseason.
I mean, a grand slam. Come on.
Yeah, it didn't get any bigger than that. Like, the top of the order for the Guardians.
He did it in game one. He started game one off with,
like, a first inning home run. It was a 2-run home run, I believe.
So he's been exactly what you want. The only thing that was questionable was the pulling Matthew Boyd after 2 innings. Like, he was cooking. He had 5 Ks. Like, I don't know why you take him out after 2 innings. Like, don't get me wrong, I get it. You're going up against the best pitcher, so it's the best pitcher versus the best bullpen. Like, that's what you were doing.
I like that because I think, like, to your point, you play to the strength, right? The Guardians at that time, you were going to try to rotate guys through, and, like, your bullpens.
But he could have went another inning.
Let's for all the people jumping on the bandwagon who see stuff like bullpen games and aces and all of this.
Crossed.
Yeah, like, come on. It's not Pepe Sylvia people too much. Like, let's just say this. Guardians-Yankees works.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That works. And Mets-Dodgers works.
Yeah, it does.
So last year, the World Series was Arizona and Texas. Nobody cared and nobody watched outside of those two markets. You have a nation engaged in this one, my friends. The Mets and Dodgers is going to be monster. I've already seen the ratings, 7.5 million or something like that. That's huge. The Yankees and Guardians is going to rate. So, and now we get the beautiful thing, which is postseason baseball where you're invested. And not everyone's as invested as you guys are, but it's ripe for the bandwagon to jump on it because the drama is sensational. And if you get a long series, all hands on deck. Go ahead, Reese.
Every single pitch you're hanging on.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
Even for
awesome.
the Mets last night, I know you're down, 7-8 runs late. You were just hanging. Every single pitch mattered.
It does.
You have to get 27 outs.
You cannot.
The clock can't save you.
You cannot throw one bad pitch and it's going over that fence. That could be 1-0. Could be the game. That's it.
No, it's going to be fun and doubleheader tonight. So lots to look forward to on that side of things. All right, coming up next, we got a score to give you on the NFL side of things and 3 things. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, empowered to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
Rita, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
Get your game room game day ready with Billiards Plus. Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, and games the whole family will enjoy. Now's the time to get your name on a pool table before the holiday rush. Plus, top-of-the-line grills still in stock. Shop Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
I'll be honest, I'm really worried about my kids and grandkids. I never thought we'd be facing a national abortion ban in this country.
That's Kim. She lives in Cincinnati and is a grandma to 6.
If something happened to my family, I'd want them to have all the help they need. But with a national ban, they'll have nowhere to turn.
Bernie Moreno supports a national abortion ban, and he has said he is 100% against abortion with no exceptions. And if Moreno's in the Senate, he could be the deciding vote to pass a national abortion ban.
Last year, we voted to protect abortion in Ohio. Now, Bernie Moreno wants to get rid of that completely. It's simple. I don't trust Bernie Moreno to do what's right for my family. He should never be Ohio's senator.
Your Community PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Your Community PAC, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Learn more at yourcommunitypac.org.
The Christmas cash giveaways now at UDF. With UDrive Plus, 1 in 7 can play to win prizes instantly, including $1,000 weekly by buying specially marked items at UDF. No purchase necessary. Visit udrivecontest.com for official rules.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do we have on the poll today?
The Daily Fan poll asks, what grade would you give Ohio State in its loss at Oregon? A, B, C, D, or F are your 4 options. 53% say a C, 28% say B, 17% say D or F. Getting a lot of Fs in the comments.
Yeah.
1.5% of you are giving them an A for some reason.
Yeah, no, certainly.
C.
It's a C.
D.
No, yeah. I mean, I think
it's a D because there was none from Ohio State's side of it.
Well played. Well played. You want to do the score now? You want to do it in three things?
Oh, yeah, let's just hit it now. We got a Monday Night Football game between the Bills and the Jets. On Friday, we could have picked this at Buffalo -2.5. Now it is Buffalo -1 going into tonight's contest.
Oh, my gosh. Beautiful. So, Buffalo's not losing 3 in a row.
I agree.
So I'll no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Give me the Bills.
Samesies. You get those 10 wins tonight, Bo.
Oh, come on, baby.
9-4 going into it. I'm 8-5.
Get there. All right. Time for 3 things on a Monday. Hit it, boy.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Custom Air. Custom Air. Custom Solutions. Custom Comfort.
All right, number 1 for me. So, obviously a tough weekend. Bootsy and I are at Costco on Sunday, and they have like those replica cars where they have all these different varieties of cars. They've got Ferraris and Bugattis and all this stuff. And so we're now at a point now where they don't get anything until Christmas. That's where we're at. So he wants to go through like the toy marks, in Costco. So we go through there, and there they are. And he sees a car, and he's all excited. He goes, "Dad, it's a Bandit car." And sure enough, it was the Smokey and the Bandit 1977 Trans Am. So that pleased me to no end, because the fact that he knew it was the Bandit car, that pleased me, all of it. Feel like we're raising him right. So I'm like, you know what, buddy? Let's get the Bandit car. We got to get it. I've never seen the Bandit car before, so we get the Bandit car. So at the end of the Browns game yesterday, he comes up and he goes, "Dad, it's been tough, right?" And he acknowledges how tough the weekend's been. He goes, "You know what? I want you to have the Bandit car." And he goes, I put it at a place that I think it should be displayed. So he put it in the main entryway of the house or like my wife has like lamps and like fancy decor. Yeah. So there's a Smokey the Bandit car there. Good job out of you, Bootsy. Good job.
Look at that. Yeah. It will be recognized every time somebody walks in.
Game recognized game.
Number 1 for me is it's been 6 months, so that means that it's time for me to go to the dentist again and get a cleaning. I pray I don't have any cavities. I've been eating candy left and right. I just know that they gonna say that I got a cavity. So please pray for me.
First thing for me this morning, they had Derek Jeter on Fox Sports, and I don't know if this is quite like getting the tattoo of the World Series or the tattoo. I don't think people get championship series tattoos, but I'll say this from Cleveland. Thank you, Derek Jeter.
You never want to say you have it. You never have an easy road to the World Series, but if the Yankees could pick and choose their opponents, I think they got the 2 that they would pick and choose because of the success that they've had against the AL Central.
You don't have to say it. I'll say it. They have an easy road to the World Series.
It's not easy.
And look, it's never easy, right? But this is the clearest path in 20 years.
Jeter and A-Rod, thank you.
A-Rod coming in and being like, "Hold my beer. Wait till you hear what I got to say." Pretty on brand for A-Rod on that. Number 2 for me, we are to a point now when it comes to consuming live sports, football, because everyone watches it, that the things that get advertised most on it are, because it's October, horror movies and political ads. Mm-hmm. That's what you get. Mm-hmm. Those almost need to be like safeguarded from the children. The amount of things that I've had to either say, close your eyes, turn away, or like actually the amount of explaining I'm having to do in the breaks to the boys. The horror stuff's crazy. Like at 2:00 on a Sunday, do I really need to see a trailer for The Calling 17 or whatever the hell it is? Like, it's enough. Chill out a little bit in the afternoons, man. We got kids watching.
Oh, my goodness. That's funny. You know what? I had something else written down, but what you just said reminded me. So last night, I was playing the game. It's about 10:30. I decided to get up and go upstairs and go to bed. And when I go to bed, I realize my daughter is still up. She's up in the bed next to my wife. My wife sleeps. She's up in the bed with an iPad watching it. So I'm like, okay, it's time to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you gonna sleep in here? Cool, whatever. So I cut the light, I cut the TV off, cut the lights off. And next thing I know, 5 minutes later, she's crying.
Okay.
And so my wife wakes up and I get up like, what's wrong? Like, what happened? Like, did I roll over you or something? Like, what happened? Yeah. And she said, it's scary because it's dark. And I said, this is why you don't watch TV.
That's right.
You can't watch none of these stuff.
That's exactly right.
Second thing for me from the corrections department, I got to apologize to Navy quarterback Blake Horvath. I said he went to Davidson. In fact, he went to Hilliard Darby. Now, the Arlingtonian in me, once corrected, said, what's the difference? The schools look the same.
Wow.
But I know in Hilliard that's a big deal, so I apologize to Hilliard Darby football and to Blake Horvath.
Oh, that line, we're going to use that when you run for mayor of Arlington. That line right there is going to push you over the top. That's going to do it. Number 3 to me. So it was a little brisk. It was in the 60s. It's kind of been rainy and gross yesterday by the time the Browns game was over. And I knew that I had two choices, that I'd watched a very disappointing football game, which, although it was highly entertaining, on Saturday night, and then just gross on Sunday afternoon. And so I looked around and I said, you know what? You guys want to go play golf? And the boys are like, seriously? I'm like, yeah. Should we go? Yes, let's go. So we went out. Rain gear, a little brisk, but it was fine. Best decision we ever made. Played about 9 holes. It was a little brisk, but it was great. Unwind. Good job out of the club. Very good job out of the boys for being up for it.
Last thing for me is today is parent-teacher conference for my 4-year-old. This is her second year in preschool. I'm interested to see how she's doing. I know, listen, my daughter is... Essentially, she's 4, but she's a teenager. She she's one of them kids that knows stuff that she shouldn't be knowing. Like, like she'll tell you stuff like, "How do you know that?" That's where she is. She thinks she's an adult. So I'm expecting a great report from the teachers today.
Well, great parents, make great kids. So there can be no doubt that this is going to be an exemplary performance review for her.
She should be a disturbance in class for cracking jokes.
Rothman and Ice are up next from 12 to 3. Jim Lachey is going to join at 12:33. Very interested to see what he has to say from being up close in person at what happened in Oregon on Saturday. And then Ryan Day will join the roundtable tonight at 7:02. So plan your day accordingly.
All right, there it is, a Reaction Monday. We are back tomorrow. Rothman and Ice coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in The Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use the promo code JustSports for a welcome bonus of up to $100. The updated national championship odds have Texas as the slight favorite at 4-1, with Georgia and Ohio State both at plus 450. Oregon is plus 550 with Alabama 10-1 and Penn State 12-1. For your Prime Sports Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
At Byers Auto, we've been football fans since 1897, back when tailgates had actual tails. Our legacy of supporting our local team is as strong as our commitment to providing exceptional vehicles. While we're known for our new cars, we also offer a variety of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. Our friendly staff is here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget. Visit us in person or shop online at byersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Hey guys, it's D. Miller. If you're not feeling upbeat like you used to be, it could be low testosterone. That's right, it affects our moods. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help you get back to your best. But we're not all the same. So don't go for TRT referred to as a standard dosage plan. Look for TRT with an optimized personal treatment plan, like you'll get with the experts at Low T Center. They provide advanced therapy and have over a decade of experience. So go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Create a safe sleep environment for your baby by using the ABCs of safe sleep. Babies are safest alone on their backs in an empty crib. Always place your baby on his or her back while sleeping, and be sure to use a firm sleep surface. Remember, room sharing without bed sharing is safest. For more information, visit childrenandyouth.ohio.gov/infant-safe-sleep.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the Care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just the slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
High Bank Distillery is giving away free burgers for a year. Stop by any of High Bank's 3 locations October 14th through the 19th and try their $8 burgers. Upload your burger pic to social media. Tag High Bank for a chance to win. Visit highbankco.com/battle for more details.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy from Dell Technologies. Bring projects to life with the XPS 16. It delivers supercharged processing for enhanced productivity and freedom to express yourself. Performance-class Dell PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors deliver a dedicated engine to help accelerate AI. Enjoy free shipping, Dell rewards, and expert support. When you get a Dell PC with AI, it gives back. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.